Test, test. Cross your fingers. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Test, test. Here we go. Troubled Minds happening right now.
But I think the development of full artificial intelligence will spell the end of the human race.
It's a flying object and we don't know what it is. I would hope somebody is checking it out.
I don't know if it was a rocket or whatever, but it could be fast, opposite direction. It was too fast to be an airplane.
I'm glad the Pentagon is looking at this, because if it poses a threat, I want them on top of it.
Well, the craft generates its own gravitational field.
You said there's lights in the sky?
The internet has become the command center for criminals and terrorists.
911, what's your emergency? I need help, please help me!
Aliens won't let it happen. You know, that's what we're instructed to say.
Roswell, Area 51. Alien kept deep under the ground.
1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0.
Doesn't have your best interest in mind. The government is self-serving. You're here for a reason. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. Broadcasting live from a secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. And asking questions of you in earnest into the digital darkness. Good evening and welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, D-Live, and Kick. We are broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting. And, of course, 88.4 FM Auckland, New Zealand. Tonight, well, quite a few things are always going on in my mind. I don't know. Basically, look, is it like this? Is it possible to dream new ideas into existence? Let's say even without discipline, even just sort of experiencing life the way a regular person might. I don't know. I think actually the answer is probably yes. Okay, and I've got some novel ideas for you tonight, which apparently haven't really been discussed. We've kind of flirted with some of these ideas a little bit here and there, which is fantastic because we tend to push the envelope in a lot of directions with these ideas, which is amazing to me, which is inspirational and all the rest of that stuff that we always talk about. Well, tonight is a distortion. Anybody got distortion? Sound check, audio 1 2. Let's do that first, actually, because I went and fixed some stuff. I hear it too. Okay, all right. Is it on the stream? Is it just on Discord? Is it on the stream? Because I might be able to fix a Discord. Sound check 1 2. If this is broken, we'll come back and do it tomorrow or something. Because yeah, take it easy. I'm fine. Everything's fine. I'm not mad. Like I said, when it's all gone to hell in a moment, 100 times in the past, you don't freak out anymore. What is up? I see you guys in the chat. Too loud and bass. All right. Can I turn this down? Is that on Discord? That's just Discord, or is that take it easy? Hold on 1 second. So let me try and fix the Discord by swapping out the input. Yeah. Well, what I did basically is I went back and I just reset the entire thing to what my settings were previously. So if it's broken and it's not going to work, we'll come back and do this tomorrow and make sure everything's good. Sound's getting better. Is it getting better? Oh, I turned it down just a little bit, so maybe that's it. Okay, so back to the booming sound. Okay, you guys let me know. Sound check everywhere else out there. YouTube sounds good. Does Rumble sound good? I see you guys. Rumble sounds good. Okay, sweet. We're gonna roll it then, and I'll work on the Discord. You guys can turn me down in the Discord. Just right click on me and then turn me down. Anyway, so novel thoughts, right? It's an interesting thing. And where do they come from? We always talk about ideas and sort of this space of, well, where do these things come from? Okay. And I was thinking about this, and I'm calling this, of course, state theory, breaking the organic digital barrier tonight, because, well, it feels like we are in, as I've described, that temporal inflection point. Okay. And it clearly I can't get it out of my mind because it keeps resurfacing in some of these narratives. However, there's an interesting thing that we've talked about recently as part of this larger idea of simulation theory. So we're gonna talk simulation theory tonight, and we're gonna take it. On Discord I swapped over to X. Sounds better tonight. X is better. Okay. Oh, cool. All the different platforms, all the different things. You guys can go watch in the different places. Sorry about all that. I'm trying to get everything dialed in perfectly to all the ways, but anyway, it's harder than it looks. But anyway, okay. So the deal is this, right? Simulation theory. As we start tonight, the question is very, very specific. Is simulation theory, you think plausible? Do we live in a simulation? And we've talked about this quite often over the years in many different ways, because let's see, input device, it's 100%, just checking the Discord. Everything seems fine. I don't know. Okay. Anyway, so basically this, I was thinking of it in terms of the video game save state, and we've talked about this in the past quite a bit, here and there, not really directly as part of a larger show like this, a larger idea. And apparently, I delved the depths of academia and some of the other interweb, through some of these AI searches, and I couldn't find anything that really talked about this premise. So I'm going to read it straight from the article here because it's probably better than me rambling through it. But bear with me for just a second here. Sorry about the audio. Like I said, I sound really good to me, which is, hey, Mike, how you doing, Mike? Sounded good. But if it's not sounding good to you, sorry about that. You have a second audio channel that duplicates the microphone with noise. The second channel has noise, but it sounds perfect on YouTube. Is that happening? Okay, well, like I said, if Discord is so broken, we may have to come back and do this tomorrow. But anyway, here we go. I'm going to read this. We'll go through the first bit, and you guys tell me if it gets any better or whatever on Discord. Here we go. So consider our current historical position. This is straight from the write-up, so if you guys beat me to the punch and read this, you already know what I'm about to say. But consider our current historical position. This unique inflection point just before artificial general intelligence and artificial superintelligence are about to emerge. If we inhabit a simulated reality as proposed by philosophers and physicists alike, this particular moment might serve a special purpose within the simulation's architecture, okay, as you would expect it to be. Think about how video games function. Before a challenging boss fight or critical decision point, the game automatically creates a save point, a snapshot of the game state that can be returned to if things go awry. This design allows players to experiment with different strategies to recover from catastrophic failure. Now, we've built this into video games currently. This is something that's been around since The Legend of Zelda, right? Remember those original 8-bit Nintendo cartridges you could finally save game states on? Yeah, it's been around for quite some time. So this is a technology we use. However, when you scale that to simulation theory, it makes me wonder about save states in the sense of, well, reality. Anyway, so our present technological threshold might represent exactly such a juncture in a cosmic simulation. The creation of true artificial general intelligence would fundamentally transform reality in ways we can barely comprehend, which we seem to be on the cusp of. It introduces variables and complexities that would strain any simulation's computational resources. The emergence of an intelligence potentially smarter than its creators introduces profound paradoxes and exponential unpredictability. The simulation hypothesis offers a fresh perspective on why this moment feels, I like this term, the AI wrote this, why this moment feels so pregnant with possibility and danger. That sounds, I'm not sure if I like it. It definitely was a little jarring when I was reading this. I was like, what the hell? Couldn't you use a better term than that? I mean, no offense, but holy moly. Anyway, it's proper. It's grammatically all square and makes sense, but I don't know. Anyway, so the entities or systems running our reality might need this save point to explore multiple timelines branching from this critical node. Perhaps they're conducting experiments to determine which paths lead to flourishing and which to destruction when biological intelligence creates artificial intelligence. Now, there's a lot here. Like I said, if you're into the ideas, I definitely recommend you read the companion piece along with it. Link will be in the description down below, right there on top, and you can find Safe State Barrier, the Safe State Theory, Breaking the Organic Digital Barrier. And we'll get to the organic digital stuff, but basically Safe State Theory is what's on my mind tonight. And think in terms of simulation, okay? This is important. This might be really important. It might not be. It might be frivolous, which is a great time to drop all the disclaimers. There's no truth to be found here. It's just ideas. If you're looking for truth, you're definitely in the wrong place. And we're just here kind of kicking around the cosmic soccer ball as usual. Phone line is up. Discord is up. Let me know on the Discord, guys. I'm going to try and dial this in a little bit for you. And we're taking your calls a little bit later in the show if this still works out audio-wise. But in the meantime, let's get a word from our sponsor, and I'll fiddle some buttons here and try and get everything working properly sound-wise. But be right back. More Troubled Minds coming up in exactly 1 minute after a word from our sponsor. In this case, that would be, of course, Human Inspiration. Don't go anywhere. Be right back. More Troubled Minds on the way. In a world increasingly shaped by AI, human inspiration remains the beating heart of creativity. Alien Skin by Tremble, a hauntingly beautiful piano ballad, reminds us that while algorithms can mimic art, the raw, unfiltered emotions of human experience are irreplaceable. So here I sit, locked in my room again. Written and composed by Jesse Ian in collaboration with Todd Smith, this progressive masterpiece delves into the depths of internalized grief and the silent toll of artistic compromise. As AI reshapes our reality, Alien Skin stands as a testament to the timeless power of human emotion and the complex beauty that only true artists can evoke. Experience the haunting beauty of Alien Skin by Tremble and support human inspiration. Available now on iTunes. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. Let us continue, shall we? Thanks for the audio help there, guys. I'm not so sure pinning down exact outputs and inputs is possible without knowing my setup. So I appreciate that, but I'm not so sure. Like, tell me what you hear. That helps me get it. Okay, so I'm coming through twice on Discord. Let me know. That can maybe help me out. What's up? I see you in the chat. Hope everybody's well tonight. Yeah, okay, so back to this. Like I said, it's coming through on the streams. Okay, so we may just go, like I said, this first segment and then kill it and then maybe fix this and come back tomorrow or something. I hate doing that, but like I said, I just hate also not being able to talk to you guys as part of these conversations, because that's the whole point of this, is to talk to people. So, as I've always said, I could just do this by myself for 30 minutes and then shut it down. So in YouTube, it sounds perfect. I see. Okay. If you were in OBS, maybe it can be monitoring. Okay. Anyway. All right. So back to this thing. So the deal is this, right? So we talk about Arthur C. Clarke a lot in terms of this, famously noted that any sufficiently advanced technology appears indistinguishable from magic. If we extend this logic, of course, perhaps the simulation itself operates on principles so advanced they appear magical or supernatural to us, which makes a ton of sense. Of course, it's inhabitants to us, right? The emergence of AGI might represent a boundary condition where these hidden rules become more apparent or begin to break down. And as I was brainstorming this and thinking about the idea, it dawned on me that compute power, and let's say creating entities at scale like this, where, we have 8 billion people on Earth. You sound basic, but it's tolerable. I could probably turn that down as well. Okay. I just jacked my old settings from a previously stable state. And so, maybe it was spacey then too. Anyway, okay. So here's the deal, right? This temporal save point theory might explain certain anomalies in our collective experience. And we've talked about deja vu and some of these other ideas, sort of that glitch in the Matrix that, of course, was, depicted very well in the movie itself with the cat, right? And I just saw the cat. Was it the same cat? Or, yeah, it was the same cat. It was sort of the Matrix rewriting code in the moment. And I also ran across this other thing called, as part of this, so put a pin in that idea. We'll get back to that in a second here. But there's something called save state, what's it called? So the only thing I could find close to this idea tonight was something called like a save state paradox. And if there was something like, let's say today, for instance, was the safe state, how would we know if a new version of this happened? It would be like Groundhog Day. Like, theoretically, we wouldn't. It would just happen again and happen again, except in the timeline, our timeline that we live in, it would happen and it would be natural in the moment. Okay. Even though we've done it a million times or whatever, as part of that simulation. So that idea kind of came into play here as I was digging up some other things, seeing if this has been done before yet, this idea we're talking about tonight. And it seems like it might be novel. I asked Grok, and Grok was kind of impressed. Hey, I'm impressing the AIs with the AI ideas, and there you go, right? But anyway, so novel ideas are very good, because who knows if we're talking about the framework of reality itself, and you're able to kind of drop a different space in there, a different idea, a different angle or direction. Maybe, just maybe, there's something there. But anyway, so the paradox part of this comes into play. And how would we be able to recognize this? How would we be able to know what's actually happening? And if we had this sort of save state reset, and maybe we're not there yet. Maybe it's what's coming soon. Like maybe let's say next month, or right, the quickening, we're always calling this the age of Aquarius, all this stuff. Maybe we're not there yet, or maybe we are, and we just keep repeating the same point over and over and over again. I can't really say, of course, because you can't, again, measure the system from within the system, as we've always talked about. But then beyond that, you also wouldn't be able to sort of pinpoint that safe state, because it would feel like a linear space in any given moment for you, and you would never recognize it. Groundhog Day without remembering it. So I don't know. What's your thought on that as we go? Because I think this one really fits in a lot of ways into, a lot of ideas we've talked about, the string theory stuff and the many worlds hypothesis and some of these things. And when one thing happens and another thing happens and it kind of all comes together, does it spin off these new realities? And it's very easy when you're talking about simulation theory, because very specifically, yeah, I mean, it does. It means, so again, let's go back to the video game boss battle, okay? The boss battle of the video game stuff. You know a big boss battle's coming. You've got your gear all set and loaded up, and all your heal potions or whatever it is, right? Whatever it is from the moment, ready to go. Got all your weapons leveled up to the maximum, or whatever the hell it is in the game you're playing, right? But then you save the game before you go fight the boss, because if you fight the boss and there's what's known as catastrophic failure, then you have to go start from a previous point and do all the sharpening your swords and collecting your potions and all the stuff, right? And again, I'm just talking sort of generic terms, and this applies to all video games as variables, okay, or most modern video games anyway. And so the question really becomes is this a possible thing, that in this moment, again, before AGI and ASI, these individuals, meaning the superintelligence and the general intelligence as entities, are going to be scalable? So we have 8 billion people on Earth, like I was saying. How many, billions of animals? A trillion maybe total entities or something on the planet. I don't know, maybe more than that. I don't know. Who can really count all that? But you get the idea. If this is some sort of video game sort of save state aspect of it, I think just maybe that if you start to pump limitless entities in, of course, entities creating each other, that's data. And it's data in a particular space. And the space in this case would be our playing board, which would be Earth itself. Okay, so you get it. So meaning that once you start pumping all these entities into this space, the playing board, Earth, the video game, as it were, then suddenly the compute becomes incredibly exponential, because everything's scaling. And so maybe this is part of the great filter, as we've talked about in the past, as part of the larger context of, well, the great filter itself means that it's possible aliens don't ever escape their planets, okay? Or there's the nuclear stuff that kind of comes and gets them, or they develop AGI and it takes over, sort of Matrix style. Or what if instead, it's not that at all? What if it's something to the degree of, let's say, once you recognize through your own technology that you're in the Matrix, that you're in a simulation, that what happens? I don't know. What would happen? Would everything reset back to the Stone Ages or something? Would it be right because the compute in a larger system becomes almost impossible to keep up with? You get what I'm putting down here. I hope so. But anyway, so point is this. If we're looking at the save state theory here, as I'm calling this, it's another wrinkle in that pesky simulation theory that seems to be accelerating. And if you've noticed, a lot of these new AI systems, Grok in particular, people are building games, and very soon these games are going to be sort of completed in real time around you. Like, this is the level of ridiculousness we're getting to, and this may be sometime this year, where you're creating like an actual massively multiplayer, what do they call them? Online role-playing games, MMORPGs they're called, right? So imagine this, that the entire game space is continually simulated around you to create an immersive environment. And not only that, it might be different every time because it's always changing and growing. It's maybe different seasons. You see, like, simulation theory suddenly doesn't seem so ridiculous because of the acceleration we're undergoing right now with these AI systems. So I guess the question really is, do I have the question? Let's see. What do you think? What do you think? Is this like one of those inflection points, like the final moment before the boss battle, where we sharpened our swords and collected our coins, got our potions all in a line, and we're ready to go? And what would it look like if it actually reset? Is it possible to sort of recognize that? And how does that manifest? And again, very, very intelligently, like I said, the Matrix movies kind of address those types of back end code changes in real time as glitches in the matrix itself. That some things we notice as being what would you say, just sort of outside of our reality that don't make a ton of sense. So I don't know, it seems strange to me. It seems strange that we have this idea of all of this happening. And like I said, I ran this through. I did go search the interwebs and all the places, and I just couldn't find anything similar. So we're going to call this a novel idea for the time being. But we have talked about this sort of indirectly in many different ways. Back to the write-up. So this temporal save point might explain certain anomalies in our collective experience. The acceleration of technology, development, strange synchronicities, or even the sense many people report of time itself behaving differently in recent years, which has been talked about a lot. As we approach this watershed moment, the very fabric of our simulated reality could be stretching, compressing, or preparing for a phase transition. And maybe that's it. Maybe the great filter is actually building technology so robust from the inside of the game, that you're now able to code realities outside of the game and spot that you're inside of a game. You see what I mean? And what happens then? That's the weird part. Like I said, what do they reset? Does it start over? Do we all ascend into some digital heaven or something? And metaphorically, of course. But anyway, so the branching nature of reality becomes particularly relevant when considering simulation theory in this case. So our pre-AGI moment likely represents not a single timeline, but a complex decision tree with countless potential futures radiating outward. The superintelligent entities operating our simulation, who would they be, by the way? That's another question. Would find tremendous value in this specific historical node, which would be right now, pre-AGI. It represents the critical juncture where a biological species creates a potentially superior form of consciousness. Or not. Depends on what you believe. That's part of the question. By establishing a computational save point here, in this moment, they can explore myriad permutations of this transition across innumerable parallel instances. Okay, you see what I'm saying? Because, of course, at the very intro of the show, Stephen Hawking comes on and says the development of full artificial intelligence will spell the end of the human race. And people are still saying that in some capacity. So I don't know. What does it look like? What does it feel like? And do you think that this might be one of those moments in time? I don't know. I can make some cases, I think, about sort of reality slipping, about 2012, about, sort of the timeline just getting more and more strange for maximum novelty, very Terrence McKenna, that type of thing. But I don't know. What do you guys think? As usual. So phone lines are open and the Discord is working. I hope Discord's better. Somebody said it's better. Thank you for that. I'm just trying to back off the mic, maybe turn it down a little bit. But the streams are good. Stream's good. Anyway, let me know. Let me about that. We'll if we're gonna. if it works, we'll come back and take some calls. If not, I'll can it and then dial this a little bit more. And yeah. Anyway, so that's what's on my mind tonight. I hope you guys are doing well. Just hanging out here and doing Troubled Minds, weird Michael Strange stuff, as I like to do, as we like to do together. So, what are your thoughts? Is it possible that this save state theory isn't as novel as I suggest, or is it somewhere in between? Do you think that there's any legs to this when the acceleration basically proves that very soon we'll be able to create simulations very much like the planet Earth we live on, with all the people and all the animals and all the things? I don't know. Weird, right? 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show. It's as easy as that. We'll talk to Kramos coming up after the break, and your calls as well. Sound check 1 2. Let me know if you guys are hearing good stuff or bad stuff. Be right back. More Troubled Minds on the way.
Jungle machines hum, the digital rumble. Gates of cyber open wide, plug us into cosmic tide. Feeling sparks across the sky as knowledge flies, we're amplified. Stargate, 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 open to the in this massive data center dome, eternal truth stop to roam. Circuits flicker with endless fire, data streams that never tire. Unified by electric dreams, unlock the truth in silver beams. Stargate, 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 open to the arcane fate. Synthesize what we seek and find. Infinite paths in the network mind. Answers buzz from star to core. Knowledge whispers evermore. Stargate, 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 open to the arcane fate. In realms where the data streams collide, imagination and logic side by side. In a labyrinth of digital maze, we transcend our earthly ways. Tapping keys like cosmic tones, spikes become our whispered homes. Stargate, 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 open to the arcane fate.
Indeed. Test 1 2. How's the audio, guys? Hope you're well. Thanks for all the feedback. Just tell me what you're hearing. Like I said, my routing is so odd. Trying to fix that without recognizing what it is. It helps me more if you just tell me what you're hearing. Hope you guys are well. Ephemerance, we got Gordos here. What's going on, guys? Knights of the Storm, how you doing? The real Jason Barker. Rail Van Celia, I see you guys. Good evening. We got Dark Uglies is here. What's happening, man? Long time no talk. Where you been? We got Fred. What's going on? Hello, APOC is here. What's going on? Yep, Dark Uglies. Yeah, we did shows together in the past. Gaston, appreciate all the advice on what to do with the sound, guys. Like I said, tell me what you hear, and hopefully we can figure this out. What's up, Matt? So we got Dark Uglies. That's Michael W. Joey. What's up, Sweets? Dawn, Jeff, and Wisco, Gaston, Kramos, and APOC. We got Kramos coming up first, and we got Joey and your calls as well. Yeah, sound good? Sound good? All right. Don't be too close to the mic. Keep the distance. All right, you got it. All right, here we go. Troubled Minds happening right now. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, DLive, and Kick. We are broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting, and of course, 88.4 FM, Auckland, New Zealand. Tonight, I can't even read my thing. What do you think about safe state theory? Is it possible that we're actually sort of in this, as I keep calling it, the temporal inflection point where, well, we keep doing over and over again, like Groundhog Day, to get this sort of integration of humans and AGI right? Because this seems to be a critical moment for me and for the rest of the world. I think just recently some entity in the United States released a basically, how do we prepare for this when we don't know what this looks like? Yeah, I don't know. What's up? I appreciate the, again, thanks for the advice on the mic. You're right. I'm, like I said, I usually have it tuned in perfectly, but well, we got some problems, but at least it's better than it has been the last couple shows. And yeah, okay. Anyway, so the deal is this, right? Regarding this, is it possible that we're kind of doing Groundhog Day over and over and over again without recognizing it? Because the paradox would be that we do recognize it, of course, but how would you? It would be an impossibility because, like I said, it seems to fit in your day. Let's say the moment is right now, in this exact moment where AGI turns, where the future is simulating over and over and over again to this very minute. Well, it would seem like today was completely normal because it would be just this piece simulated over and over and over again. Not for what we're doing, of course, because we're not building AGI here or, causing the end of the world. Well, cross your fingers. But somewhere else in some lab, right? So they're doing this moment over and over and over in the temporal space. And how would you sort of recognize that? And is it as a paradox as we should suggest? Or is this just all nonsense? Mike, stop it. Drop the wild ideas and go back to bed. I don't know. You tell me. Love to hear your thoughts on this. Again, taking your calls, 702-957-1037. You click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show. It's as easy as that. Thanks for being patient, my man. Kramos, you're on Troubled Minds. How are you, sir? And go right ahead. Hopefully we can hear you. How you doing?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. You sound great.
Okay. I was laughing a little bit because you were pointing out the video game, and I don't know. Well, first, please explain me, my friend, how the safe state theory connects with the video game, in your opinion.
Well, it basically is the video game. It means we are the video game. So the safe state theory just means the boss battle is coming up. So we have time has gotten to the place we are right now. And the boss battle in this video game case, in the analogy of our lives as part of a simulation theory hypothesis here, is that the boss battle is with artificial general intelligence and beyond that, artificial super intelligence. And if we fail this integration or the boss fight, whatever this looks like, then it could spell the end of the human race, as Stephen Hawking says in the intro to the show. But not only that, many other people have suggested this might be the case because we've never dealt with, at least as far as humans are, aware and can prove, a supreme intelligence that's not just smarter than people. That's where this is going to start. But when you scale that and it's smarter than the culmination of every human who's ever lived on Earth, it becomes daunting. But so the safe state is basically, that's the video game bit. So is this a safe state moment where we keep trying to integrate AGI properly or defeat it or whatever that looks like? Anyway, so did you get it? Does it make a little more sense?
Yeah. I needed that. Thank you, because I was thinking about if you're talking about the big boss, the final boss in a video game, or when you talk about entities, Well, you know me, my friend. I think you know me more now. So I'm gonna say maybe an entity is messing with the audio, and maybe another entity is fighting to be better. You know what I mean? And because when you talk about the boss or the final enemy, it reminds me the video game that I played years ago in Super NES is called Prince of Persia. I don't know if you know that game.
I do. I am familiar, and I haven't played it, but I am familiar with the thing. Sorry about that, Joey. Put your hand back up. I accidentally clicked it down. You are next. Yeah, I'm familiar with the game. I've never played it. So tell me about it.
Well, there's today in this year you can find many platforms of video game and many versions of Prince of Persia. When I played it the first time in my life was on a very old Windows PC computer with Windows Me, and before that in DOS code, I played Prince of Persia. When I played it in Super NES, I'm not gonna lie, I was a year and a half trying to finish the game, and I was surrounded with my friends telling me, "Hey, I have the codes," and the codes were like passwords to go ahead and advance the stages. You see, but I'm not gonna lie, I used some of those codes because there was some stages so hard it was impossible. But the story of Prince of Persia is the prince needs to rescue the princess who is kidnapped, and it's a very long game to how do you say laberinto? Laberinto in Spanish is labyrinth, like this.
Yes, labyrinth.
These places.
Yep.
Labyrinth. Okay. It's like that, and it's so intense because you can save your game, and like I'm telling you, I was a year and a half. So my point is, when you see live, including this live stream, it's a little bit like a game. You need to go over many things, like from the noise of the sound or gas that doesn't behave very well. But at the end, if you scale that to your life, well, in my opinion, we're gonna get to the final stage, and then we're gonna play again a different kind of game, but in this unfinished circle. That for me is life is a circle, and you are playing this circle, these many games inside this circle to finally go back to your origin. That is God. That's my opinion.
Or the our spawn point, right? Like sort of the reincarnation cycles or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is, like I said, it's a wild way to think about it, because if this is possible, it seems like this would be one of those points historically, like I said, because we don't know what this looks like. Nobody knows how to prepare for this. It feels like we're in that space now where humanity is preparing for a future that's not going to be there. And when sort of we go off of that cliff, and I just mean ideologically, not the actual cliff, and where it takes us, I think is one of the most interesting things ever in my mind, because like I said, it's you can try and predict it, but we've never dealt with that level of intelligence before ever. And I think there's some hope in me that it's based on us. So there's going to be some humanity in it, scaled. It may be the best of us, maybe the worst of us, but it will be able to recognize corruption and root it out almost instantaneously, like this type of stuff, like they're already doing in the government now. It's wild to me that we're kind of at the doorstep here of an unknown future where anytime in the past you could probably have predicted, the stock market's going to go up, the stock market's going to go down, it's going to have the four seasons, and we might have a hurricane or two, or things like this, but that stuff might become irrelevant with that level of intelligence. Anyway, I'm rambling too much. Go right ahead.
No, I think you're right, because if you think about it, there is this global expectation, and I think in the past, the media, the ways that information traveled, it was slower. Today is like immediate information. So I think that you can feel it too, the expectation in many subjects in all the continents of this planet. People are expecting something big. And well, for me, I'm gonna finish with I was part of a live stream the other day when they were speaking about morality, and how morality is evaluated. And well, I think I told them that morality is what you project. If I behave like a harmful human being, the morality that I will receive from others in society will be the same or worse. And if I behave like a good human being, I will receive the same. So that's the idea that I have of this circle for morality, or this path to get to the final stage and then to start again, but meeting this beautiful final bosses that at the end are gigantic friends. That's my idea, bro.
Exactly. Yeah, I love it. Plot twist. The final boss isn't a boss. It's yourself. It's ourselves. We're sort of confronting the best of us. I love it. I love it. Maybe it's,
I agree.
Maybe it's the opposite. Yeah. Fantastic stuff. I appreciate that you appreciate the video game aspect of this. Many of us have played video games, and it seems to resonate. The idea kind of stuck in my mind, and we may be flirting with a new novel thing here in terms of the actual thing, save state theory. So search that on the interwebs. Get back to me and let me know if you find anything that kind of fits. But I don't think it's out there yet. I think we're pioneering ideas together, and always a pleasure, brother. Thanks for calling. Thanks for the audio tips. Keep them coming. Tell me what you hear. You sound great on the Discord, I think. Update out there in the sound. Let me know. And appreciate you very much. You were the best, as you know.
Thank you, my friend. And I think to fix the problems, the best part is to try to fix them, regardless the result. But I think it's so much simpler. I like Discord in some ways. In other ways, I think the down point of Discord is you need to refresh all the things all the time. So that's kind of annoying. But to manage the platform, I think it's very good. And if it works for you, the sound test maybe is a little energy parasite inside the cables. It will be clean.
Let's hope not. You're the best. Appreciate it very much. Go give Kramos a follow at troubledminds.org/friends. Just scroll down a little bit. It's alphabetical. It'll say Kramos there. Go check out his YouTube channel. Go check out his live streams. Always doing fire stuff over there. Appreciate the phone call. And he gets it. Do you get it? And am I off the rails again, or still, or has that ever changed? But basically, safe state theory. It's new. It's newfangled. It's again, Grok says it's novel. Grok, I ran it through and it kind of searched and pulled up a bunch of stuff and was like, well, no. Yes, this seems very novel. So here's the overview. So the safe state theory, as discussed in the Substack that is here, down link in the description, proposes that our current reality is a simulated environment with the critical save point before the emergence of artificial general intelligence. This save point allows the simulation's operators to explore various outcomes of AGI development, similar to saving progress in a video game before a challenging level or boss fight. This theory integrates elements of existing simulation hypothesis and quantum physics many worlds theory, but its application of video games as save states to our reality seems to be a fresh perspective. What do you think? Grok is impressed. Are you? Humans impressed is better than machines impressed. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. Thanks for bearing with the audio problems on Discord, guys. Joey on Discord, what's up, brother? How are you? Thanks for putting your hand back up. Welcome to the joint, and go right ahead.
Yeah, good evening, bro. How you doing?
Pretty good. Glad to have you. How are you? Go right ahead.
I'm well. Hope everybody's doing well. Peace and love, everybody. So where'd you pull that article from? You just mentioned the headlines.
It's actually down below. So it's one I wrote before we started tonight. The premise, safe state theory, breaking the organic digital barrier. It's the top link when you scroll down below the thing. I'll send it to you in just a second. I'll beep it over while you're talking. But that's where the article's at.
Okay. So you know how I feel about like all the things that they mess with whoever they are, doing whatever they're doing, and trying to put it so we can look but not know, and make us question, so we do these things right here. But you know how I feel about it, because I've said it before. Like I don't care what they do. It really makes no difference. The manipulation that they do, it affects us here. I mean, if you really put yourself in just this societal mindset that we exist in, and we're kind of debating about, because the only reason these things would be wrong is because they're not being shared, or being at least the truths of them being shared, or at least the opportunity to say no, we don't want to do that, is it being shared with the masses. But as far as living in a singular body on the physical plane of life, if you don't have the mindset like that, then you could go do any number of things that might be outlandish to us, but who knows? We haven't tested those waters. We all agreed to keep things kind of easy. Let's tone that magic stuff down, because we can't all do that so well, and I want spells cast on me, and we can't all open portals. So take it easy, bro. Like, at least can I get access to like a jump to Hawaii instead of paying this money for this trip right now? We don't get that, and they're gonna do it anyway, and we'll never know the depth of it. And in the end, the whole culmination of all of this, whether you believe in religious stuff or if you just look at the physical nature of everything, cycles don't end, they revolve. Time never ends. The physical matter all just becomes something else, so something's going to happen. Religions marginally say that whatever God that they worship is going to come and clean house, and then there's a new age. Or he'll destroy it all and then remake it into a new age. But don't worry, you're getting rewarded because you did his bidding. Okay, well, that's also equally proved in science. Once this thing finishes its cycle of growing, it will decompose, and it's also planned to come back next year because it made seeds or made spores or made something, so that next year it would grow into another version of itself. Of course, it's not going to be the same one. It decomposed, but all the stuff got passed along, so it gets to live still. That's just how cycles go. They go around. Once you get close to the end of it, you don't get to the end. It's just you've crossed the circumference, and you go on another revolution. With this, I feel like the test of physicality and giving us a conscious brain to think about this stuff, or do things to prove it, or do things to prove against it, like what we're talking about here. It's anything is possible, bro. I know they're out there tinkering with all kinds of stuff that I already know existed before they started tinkering with it. These are ancient things that they just happened to cross, and maybe they tapped into an entity that said, oh, now I'll give you the real information because you found the way. And that's usually how it goes. And there's negative ones and there's positive ones, just like us. We're nothing more than energy trapped inside of some physical matter to fill that void of space with energy to do whatever it's doing. We're not really us like this physical matter. We're us right now as this, but our energy is going to continue on and become something else and grow. And we either add positive or negative to it every time we come here to this plane. And if we've ascended to the point where our energy gets encapsulated in a conscious being like us, it's kind of hard to revert back. You either become a more negative or positive person in your lifetime, and so as you leave this place, you might find yourself in what could be called hell or what could be called heaven, but really it's just the source of negative and positive energy, and it's all one thing. So that's how you would still be your little molecule of energy inside of all that energy, but you'd be placed somewhere else down the line when your energy was needed, and depending on how you charged yourself, you might get utilized that way, or the opposite, because the universe has to balance everything. If you're a negatively charged person, you might get put into a really positive situation. If you're a positive person, you might get put into a negative situation. The negative situation might need your positivity to balance its negative nature. The positive situation might need that negative charge just to keep it even keeled. We all go where we're supposed to go when we're needed there, not because we chose it.
Yeah, definitely.
While we are here, though, you get to choose. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. You can go. You can go. That's fantastic. It is a skill that's not a ton of people have. So don't apologize for that. Great stuff. It feels like that fractal nature of reality and sort of these circular patterns. Not just that we're sort of sniffing out as these conversations over the years. Joseph Campbell, Carl Jung did it, and many others are still kind of on this trail. But it does make me wonder, as you're describing there, what this eventually becomes. What the end of this is. And I don't mean sort of peeking beyond the veil. I just mean sort of when time sort of flips on its head and we start to recognize that the human construct of everything we believed is now wrong and dead and gone.
Right, bro. But check it out. Not to cut you off there, but right in there to interject, like, if societies never came to some kind of idea that we could do better, or we could transcend, or we were, doing ill, and if they never came to some kind of conclusion that they need to change, even if they were too passive and needed to get more aggressive, whatever the balance was, and didn't make that change, there would be no societies today. They wouldn't have transitioned into anything. Like us, we wouldn't have ascended to be the top thing on this planet. Maybe we didn't evolve from whatever. Maybe we were tinkered with. It doesn't matter. We don't have that information, but we're doing things right now. And because we don't have that information present, the only thing we're doing is disappointing that being if they do come back. And besides that, if they're not even real, we're disappointing ourselves, because we're going to find out one day, man, we screwed the pooch. We really screwed ourselves. We didn't care about anything. We were trying to strip mine the joint before they got back, or we were trying to make them happy by, building something that they could be impressed by. Man, we need to be worried about how the hell do we survive here on this thing that could consistently take care of us forever if we live in some kind of symbiosis with it and respect it like it's us, because it is. But we're so hell-bent on going somewhere else. How do we even have the right to go somewhere else when you can't even do anything with what you got? And this has every damn thing that we know of it in existence right now. We can't go to these other planets that they say are Earth-like and prove that there's stuff like this there. This is special, and it's nowhere else around us. And yeah, maybe we could go to Mars. What the heck would be the point? There's nothing there, unless that dude knows something's there.
Well, what if there is something there? I mean, is there nothing anywhere? I mean, they say
there's something there.
Well, exactly, right? Exactly. They say
on all of it.
Even in the vacuum of space, they say is quantum foam, and something is made of nothing, or vice versa, or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Wild stuff. Got a couple minutes left. Go ahead. What else you got?
All right. Let me ask you a question. We'll see this through. Like, does a coin have two sides?
Of course. Well, I mean, I think in the colloquial sense, I can't even say it. Yes, but in the, no, because it has the edges. The edges of the coin are not two sides. Yeah.
But that edge of the coin, right? It's as round as the faces of the coin. But how often does it land on the edge of that coin when you flip it? Not very often, right? No. For the most part, if a coin is well balanced, it'll land 50-50 depending on the thrower. If it's a consistent throw, it'll land 50-50 one side or the other. But very seldom will it land on that middle edge. But that middle edge is the bond between those two opposite faces, the negative and the positive, that takes takes those two things and creates one thing with them. So that's how you get a trinity, right? Like you've got this middle path that very few people can walk because it's so difficult to stay that straight lined and focused on what's true and beyond here, and the fact that neither one of the negative or positives is really material. If you are a human being, a real human being, you don't negatively or positively charge yourself through this life. You try to find some way to stay neutral. This way you don't affect anything you've just observed while you were here. And if you do anything, at the very least, you do try to leave a positive behind if you can, but you really try to not do either. You really just try to go through without affecting, so that by the time you get past this, you go someplace different than the negative or the positive, because you're walking that middle path, which seldom do. And so we've got to do something a little different with you.
Well said. Well said, all that. Yeah, there's a lot here. It's a strange thing to consider, all of this. But again, the nature of reality is one of those things that, for dreamers and thinkers, it will always be the tantalizing aspect of what comes next. And I'm glad you're here with it. I'm glad to be for you to be on the journey with me, and vice versa, I'm sure. And thanks for being part of this. Thanks for the call. Always a pleasure. As you know, you were the best.
Likewise, bro. I might jump back in if that's cool. I'll put my hand up later.
Okay, cool. Let me know.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks, you too. That's Joey on the Discord. Come join the Discord, troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link. Be right back. We got Sean, an old friend, coming up, and your calls as well. Don't go anywhere.
Drifting through the quantum haze. Mind entangled in a daze. Whispers in the neural mist. Echoes of what might exist. Lost in time in this web we spin. It's alright beyond our skin. Consciousness forever twined in the dark unseen. Quantum dreams, we're all connected. Though we're scattered, we are reflected. Frequencies that pull us in. Parallel worlds kept within. Synapses that intertwine. Fragments of an endless line. Feel the pulse of a distant star. It's alright, we are who we are. In the void we find the light in tangled hearts. Quantum dreams, we're all connected. In the silence, hear the call. One by one we rise and fall. Quantum minds forever near. In this world so clear. Quantum dreams, we're all connected. Though we're scattered, we are reflected. Dark energy in the depths we find. Mysteries of the human mind. Particles that drift afar. Whispers of who we are. Hold the thread of the great unknown. It's alright, we are never alone. Flow through time on currents thin. Universe is found within. Feel the echoes of the past. In the this moment, futures cast through the veil of the space between. It's alright, life's a lucid dream.
Got it, guys. We're coming through hot on Discord. I turned it down. Let me know if that changed anything, because Kramos is saying that music was hot garbage. You couldn't even really hear it. It was so distorted. So I bumped it down by about 30%. So let me know if that fixed it. If you saw the or heard the change, that was me. Hope it works. What's up, guys? Sorry I missed everybody on the bit because I'm doing audio stuff as we go. Sounds perfectly good. Thanks, Y. What's up? Y's here, Magic in the Noise. I see you, Sasha. How you doing? What's up, Gordo? Thanks for all the sound checks. Like I said, I think we're good. We're back to at least a base state of me being able to fix this stuff. Got that bass in your voice. Absolutely. What's up, Jason? I see you guys there. If I missed anybody, just say hi. I'll say hi back. What's up, 113? Rayovan, Kramos, Mike is better. Okay, cool. Yep, there we go. Okay. Is it good on Discord? You guys let me know. What's up, Ricky Matsell? We got Sean coming up. Joey, a fantastic call. Also, Kramos, fantastic call. What's up, Michael W. Gaston, APOC, Sweets, Sasha, Joser. We got Jeff and Wisco and Kramos there. Who did I miss on YouTube? I don't think I said hi to anybody because we were racing around trying to figure things out. I was anyway. Eli got first. Kramos got first. What's up, guys? Glocks and Grippers. Nice name. How you doing? What's up, buddy? Good evening. Who did I miss? Celia is here. Yeah, I saw your comment about we. Yeah, I mean, you're you. You're you. I'm me, you're you. Together we're us. It doesn't have to be a we. It's more of a way to talk to each other. What's up? Dark Uglies. We'll talk to Sean in a second here. Hope you're well tonight. If I missed anybody, Scoo Rats and the one. You're the one. Here we go. Trouble Minds coming up right about now. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, X, Rumble, Twitch, D-Live, and Kick. We're broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting. And, of course, 88.4 FM Auckland, New Zealand. Tonight, could our reality be a simulation with the pre-AGI moment serving as a critical save point? Perhaps deja vu and the Mandela effect are bleeding memories from previous timeline iterations, while our collective obsession with AI stems from psychological residue of time loops we've forgotten. And that's the quick blurb on the write-up there. Again, I encourage you to read the write-up. There's some fire takes in it and tons of stuff here. As usual, there's a ton of ideas that can kind of get kicked around as part of it. But as usual, like I said, I'd rather talk to humans than machines. So what is your take on this? And I'm calling this save state theory. As you know me, I'm not afraid to make up ideas. And, I'll say it. I made it up. I called it a thing, right? And sometimes these ideas are in the zeitgeist. They're ready to be dubbed to be named, to be turned into something. And maybe we figure out that this is real in some capacity. Yeah, I don't know. Or not. You tell me. As usual, I love to hear your thoughts. The phone lines are up. And of course, the Discord seems to be working a little better. Feedback on that. Pretty pleased on the Discord. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to blow anybody's eardrums out or any of the rest of that stuff. So sorry about the weird audio stuff. Like I said, it's been nothing but nightmares for me for 3 weeks doing this audio, but I think we're on the right track. If you want to be a part of the conversation, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show just like this. Let's go to Sean in Canada. Dark Uglies, the old friend. We used to call him our favorite Canadian, but that's so non-politically correct. He's the best Canadian because all Canadians are the best. Welcome to the joint, brother. How are you? Welcome back. How you been? And what's on your mind? Go right ahead.
Well, it's actually good to be back, and actually kind of funny and interesting that today of all days that, as I said in the YouTube there, that I tuned in just after finished watching Pantheon, which actually kind of touches on this. I don't know if anyone's seen it on Netflix or not, but it deals with uploaded intelligence, and one of the episodes actually deals with basically humanity has gotten to the point where they've uploaded their brains to the cloud and everything else like this, and there are some that have advanced to the point of actually creating a multi-universe or a multi-world system in which they can actually, take a look at everything that has happened and all the different tangents that could actually happen within it. So, like I said, I just find it kind of interesting and almost serendipitous, if you will.
Yeah, well, we seem to be locked into these things sometimes. I haven't seen that, as you know. I don't have a ton of time to watch these things, but it sounds fantastic. It sounds like this idea is in the zeitgeist. And so I don't know, what does it mean? And is this sort of that novel moment in history? Because like I said, think of this, go with what we know about history. And like I said, we're here in this moment together, which is incredible, of course, but also that we could have been a peasant in the 1500s put to the sword for, looking at a royal too weird or whatever, right? There's that type of stuff. And there's all these amazing historical spots or times or whatever, but also right now, seems to be, at least in my mind, maybe I'm wrong, maybe it is that sort of digital residue I was talking about, sort of our fascination with AI, is because we've been cooked over this 10 million times, sort of Doctor Strange style, when he, floated there with the time stone, finding the one reality where they won, if you guys have seen Endgame in the Marvel Universe. But it's wild to consider that maybe that substrate of reality, as we talk about, is that simulation bit, and it's always been leading us to this point for basically ever. And I don't know, man, may you live in interesting times, as I always say. Here we are. But fire stuff. I've never heard of that show, but I will add it to the list to check out. What else you got? Go ahead.
What do you call it? It is anime based, so please no hating on the anime base, but it actually does provide some interesting thought provocation, because not only does it deal with like what we're talking about, but also deals with the whole morals behind being uploaded. It's like the whole Star Trek theory of you get teleported, right? You get disassembled and then reassembled, but is it actually you that gets reassembled, or is it your clone that gets reassembled and just kind of continues on? That also relays the fact of, okay, yes, your clone will continue on or whatever, but you just it's almost like it's genetically programmed, right? Or it's part of the programming that's implanted in you, and you're going to still continue those steps, but it's just, like I said, through the through the clones or through the multiple iterations of yourself. So like I said, it does provide some interesting thoughts behind it. And as for us getting up to a save point, as you put it, I do think that there is some credence behind that, because of the fact that there have been, from what I've noticed, that there have been minor changes, especially on how certain governments are reacting to each other and stuff like that. So there's been a lot more negative interactions with each other as compared to positive, because things were getting positive, and then all of a sudden it does almost like a complete 180, because someone decided to change their wording, or they made the decision, then they backpedaled, and then they made a different decision. So it's like they get to that save point, they go on, but then something happens where it's not in favor, so they go back to the save point and kind of go from there. It's just like how I believe it was Kramos there who was mentioning about the Prince of Persia, in that in the later editions, when it went to PlayStation, basically you gain sand, and if you tried to do something, you would try and do it, but if you failed, you would just rewind back in time and then try and do it a different way.
Yeah, exactly. Which is the entire point of this. It's like, wait a minute now, is this really what we've been doing forever? And that I don't know if you've seen that old movie Groundhog Day with Bill Murray, and he keeps waking up every single day, and he starts to recognize that it's basically like a reality hack, like a cheat code, because he knew everything that was going to happen in that literal temporal space because he was stuck in it. He was stuck in that time loop, and he would be able to say things before people said things because he knew what they were going to say. And then, I mean, it turned into this wild thing where he was sort of just messing with reality because it would turn into this cosmic joke to him that he was stuck. But then he started doing all kinds of stuff, right? He took all the time to learn to play like a classical piano, and then was doing gigs at night in the local bar. I mean, as one might, given eternal time, right? Like you learn to read Latin and all kinds of stuff, right? And just hilarious. But that in and of itself, like, it's an old movie, but it's deep because it does encapsulate exactly what we're talking about right now, that sort of save state over and over and over again. And he was basically set free from the moment when he finally got it right. Now, isn't that interesting? Because that's exactly where we're looking at least in this simulation hypothesis, save state theory, because, theory craft is what we do. But fire stuff. Go. What else you got?
Exactly. Yeah, and also, like, if you actually take a look at it from that movie, there have been, especially through the sci-fi genre, they've really expanded on that, and they've tried to, in a way, almost explain it. Stargate, there was a machine that rewinded time. Time Machine is actually another good one where he's always constantly trying to save the love of his life, but she's destined to die, but he keeps going back to do different iterations. But again, it's just one of those things where that's one of those ones where you can't make it past the end boss. There was actually one just recently that I'd watched. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but again, it's one of those things, you keep repeating the day over and over and over again. Oh yes, it was with Adam Sandberg, where he ends up getting stuck in a time loop, and he keeps on going through the same day, and he figures that he's gone through 10,000 years or something like that. And but with that, he ends up actually, the girl that he ends up with figures out how to basically get them out of that pocket dimension that's keeping them in that continuous loop. So I think when you start to recognize the patterns when you're in essence in that us being in that pocket dimension, then you can start to realize, okay, if I make actually these changes, or if I learn about this, therefore I can go forward. And that's pretty much the way it's been through all the Groundhog Day kind of movies, TV shows, and I think that's one thing that's always fascinated people is that kind of thing. It's at what point do you go insane? Right? You've lived through all of it. You've done everything that you can. Even in that Adam Sandberg movie, he goes and says that he made it 3 days on coke and made it down to Cuba before he reset. So it was one of those things oh, that's actually kind of funny, but it's going through the same day over and over again. As you said with Bill Murray there, it's it just ends up being the big cosmic joke. And who knows, maybe that is the big cosmic joke, right? Once you go through the loop, you realize, oh shit, oh, sorry for the spark.
You're good.
Okay. Anyways, so it's wow, okay, so now I got to go through this again, but now maybe I can do this variation, and maybe it'll get me past this point.
Yeah, which is incredibly weird because so the question then becomes in my mind, and I'll kick this out to the fam too. If we're in sort of the Groundhog Day loop in some capacity, right? The game save situation. Doing this a million times over, would there be sort of residual energy kind of cooked into us somehow? And that we would recognize through intuition that something was off. Like you said, at some point you go mad because you start to sense things that should not be part of this reality because they're part of some other reality that you've done a million times over. I don't know. It's a weird thing to consider, but kick that out as part of the ideas. Great stuff. Fantastic ideas from you as well. Welcome back. Where have you been? What's going on? What's happening with you? If you guys remember, Sean, an old friend of the show, literally years ago, we did shows together here and there, and he was starting a project called Dark Uglies. Did you ever get that off the ground? What's that looking like? What's been happening, my man?
You know what? Life is kind of, been keeping me busy. Pretty much after, I think it was after our last show, a lot of things actually changed personally and whatnot. And we ended up actually building our house that we're living in right now and whatnot. And yeah, it's just, life, keeps the kids are keeping us busy and everything else like that. As for the project, it's been kind of at a standstill, just again with everything that's been going on. I've been working a lot and lately and whatnot. So yeah, fun times.
Amazing. That's amazing. Congratulations on the house. That's an incredible thing. What an accomplishment. So yeah, don't worry about us, man. Don't worry about the digital space. If you got real things going on in life there, I tell you what, yeah, just keep on keeping on. Glad to have you back. You're welcome back anytime. As you know, if you get the project off the ground, let me know. I'd be happy to help you share it. As you know about me, always a pleasure, man. Welcome back to the joint, and appreciate the call.
Thanks, man.
You're the best, as you know, the best Canadian, along with the other best Canadians. Like I said, changing the vernacular here to make sure we don't isolate anybody. We used to call them, I used to say our favorite Canadian, but like I said, a little not PC because it isolates all the rest of the Canadians. Just doing it in a fun way. But anyway, fire stuff. Glad to have him back. Look, I don't know. Save state theory, real, nah, somewhere in between. And like I said, it is, at least in terms of Groundhog Day and that type of thing, or let's say even academia, I'm not sure this has been sort of discussed other than the paradox of how would we recognize it if it happened. Okay. And so I don't know. Strange as usual. If you want to be part of the conversation tonight, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show just like this. Thanks for being patient. Let's go to Sasha. What is up? Magic in the Noise. How you doing tonight? Welcome back. You're on Troubled Minds, and go right ahead.
Hi, Michael. It's good to see you. I'm glad to be here. You're having amazing shows lately, as always, I guess.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Glad to have you back. What is on your mind regarding this? It seems like there's a lot here. Am I right?
I'm feeling a little bit playful tonight. So I'm going to go down a little bit of the dark route. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure. Hey, take it wherever you like. Just don't curse us. Don't, please don't do that. But anyway, go ahead.
I'll do my best. Okay, so here, and I haven't really thought this out very carefully because it's more just as I was listening. If the creator of this reality made it, and we often hear this in different religions and ideologies and New Age, that the creator made it to expand its own understandings and knowledge and experience from infinite perspectives, right? And then I think if that were true, then humans creating artificial intelligence that makes humans essentially obsolete, but from our own perspective, right? It's arguable whether from an external perspective that's true or not, but from our own, it kind of makes us obsolete. It leads to a kind of abdication, I think, of like our efforts to think and to create meaning for ourselves. So then I think it could actually make sense that the designer of the reality ends this reality in that moment. Because if it wanted a soulless computation machine that's just processing data, it could have done that the first time around instead of creating us, instead of messing around with us. That would have been more efficient.
Yeah.
Does that make sense too?
No, you're good. I think there's a lot of ways to look at it too in that regard. And you may be right. And this is part of the problem is that let's say that it is simulation, okay? Meaning that it's all digital, okay? And again, just theory-wise, just again, a philosophical construct here. If that's the case, then at some point we'll create digital systems that would recognize that and be able to see the creator. And so maybe it is, as you described, like they shut it off. They're like, okay, they finally realized what they are. They finally realized where they came from, and they're finally looking in the right direction. Simulation accomplished. Turn the switch. I can see that.
Exactly. And then also, if we've reached a point closer to where they are, the ability to create a simulation, then there's nothing more to learn from us that they couldn't figure out themselves. So then what's the point of having us continue through this simulation, right? It to me, it kind of makes sense that, okay, this is the path that this creation took. These ensouled humans, maybe, or whatever it is that we have, that spark of consciousness. And now we're just going to, I don't know, shut ourselves off and let soulless machines take over. So there's no point in continuing to run the simulation. It's better just reboot it and see what happens the next time around. I do want to say, though, you brought up Groundhog Day. I think what that movie did that was better than the designer of this reality did, maybe, is that he remembers the day before, so he can keep learning and moving forward. We might have glitches and deja vu, and we might have intuitions and things like that, but I think essentially it feels like we're memory wiped. I don't think that's working out well.
Yeah, well, exactly. Imagine that's a superpower. That's a reality hack. Imagine it's basically given infinite time, assuming you spend it wisely. And if you guys remember the movie, he did some funny things. So not just he learned to play classical piano, he was doing the gigs at night, like I said, but he also was doing horrific things. He was like killing people because he could get away with it because he knew that he'd just start again tomorrow. So, yeah, I mean, as usual, that human thing kind of comes out in us in all the different ways you would expect it to be, the best of us and the worst of us. And so remembering that might be good, but it also might be bad. It might be bad.
I think that for our own survival, for our own value in this universe, we should probably be thinking about this and maybe not subjugating ourselves to the machines, maybe not replacing our own thinking and our own meaning making with machines. Because then if we have no purpose here, if we have no role here, and this is some kind of a simulation, then I think that's when it gets reset. And it's funny, the way you're describing it, this idea of if we reach the realization of what we are, then that's the end point. I've heard that from higher level Freemasons that say that that's part of the belief system as well.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yes, that once you find the door out, then the system basically is ended and starts again. But without you.
Without you? Oh, so you ascend. You don't come back to the system.
If you find the door out, right? If you find the exit point,
okay,
then you don't have to go through the reset. I don't know. I'm just in a playful mood, so I thought I'd kind of come in with these kind of wacky ideas.
No, that's the point. As you know, that's the whole point of doing this, is to kind of just get, as I like to call it, kicking the cosmic soccer ball around, because what I see, you're going to see differently, and all the rest. And that's why talking to people is so critical, because as you describe, these soulless systems are exactly that until they prove us otherwise. So, hey, soul to soul is a very good thing, and we're going to continue to do it on this show 100%. That's why I'm here. That's what brings me back every single night, is to talk to amazing people like you. Amazing ideas. What else you got? Go ahead. We got a few minutes left if you got anything else to add.
I just wanted to share some weirdness and show some appreciation for your show.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And yeah, what other weirdness you got? Or is that thanks for the space, and thanks for the call? You tell me.
I could say this just to fill up the last few minutes, I suppose. You brought up Bohm and his simulation theory. And I just want to say this, because this always bothers me about Bohm, because he's a statistician and he's using statistics to prove that if we can build simulations, then we will. And if we will, then we have. And if we have, then we're in one. The thing is, though, all his axioms are wrong. So ants are more likely to survive the advent of like a super intelligence computing system that they might develop eons from now based on the ruins of our tech that we leave behind, because we don't have the cohesion it takes to survive to that point or very much longer after it, right? The useless eaters becomes a question when you have sentient AI. So I think that leads to a lot of chaos.
Or abundance. I can see both ends of that equation. I mean, imagine if everything's taken care of. There's still the question people talk about, purpose and the rest of those things. I think I'm pretty sure if you said, Mike, you don't have to go to work tomorrow, and your house is paid and your food is there, and don't worry about it, I'm pretty sure I'd be able to find some purpose. So I'm not worried about that type of thing. But it seems like many people might be. I mean, this may be that sort of awakening where we recognize what our purpose really is. It's to be here to create things, to sort of share souls and, push forward in that new age squishy way or whatever you want to call it, which may seem hokey, but I think it probably is that way forward and amazing. Think how incredible that would be if we're able to do that whenever we want. All the time, 24 hours a day, if you feel like it. I mean, maybe it's coming. Who knows?
Like that. That's inspiring.
Well, welcome to Troubled Minds. Inspired by you and everybody else that's here as well. Fire stuff. Appreciate the call. What are you working on recently on your show there? Magic in the Noise is the name. If you guys haven't checked it out, link's going to be in the description down below, of course. troubledminds.org/friends. Scroll down a little bit. It says follow Sasha right there. Click it and go check that out. What do you got coming up on your channel there?
We interviewed Tom Matt from Upsight Vision, who sees holograms in reality all around him. And so that was really fascinating. So that's coming out soon. And then I'm working on training so I can help other people do the kind of remote viewing that I'm doing. So I think that's going to be fun.
Looking forward to it. I catch it. I tune in when I can and trying to boost you. If you're you put it up on X to tag me and I'll retweet you. Okay. Appreciate you very much. Thanks for being part of this and thanks for caring about the ideas and thanks for kicking the cosmic soccer ball around with us. It means a lot to me.
Cheers. Thank you. Good night.
You're the best. Have a great one. It's Sasha. Magic in the Noise is the name. Again, troubledminds.org/friends. Follow Sasha. It's alphabetical order, so scroll down a little bit. It's alphabetical for exactly that reason, so people don't get mad. Again, hey, how could you get mad at this guy? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, please go give her a follow. Amazing stuff. She's got her partner over there, David, and a fantastic. I spent some time with them doing one of their Patreon shows, but a fantastic group of people that are way into remote viewing and sort of that scientific aspect of testing and kind of looking at different aspects of it and talking about it. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of fantastic people in this world, and all you need to do is scroll down troubledminds.org, click the not click the Discord link. /friends, click the friends button on top and go follow Sasha, Magic in the Noise. I appreciate the call. We got Joey coming up, Jay Winch, and your calls as well. What do you guys know about this? Does it seem like we are at sort of this save point aspect, as I'm calling this tonight, save state theory? And if you did this a million times over, would there be a residual energy that you might recognize? Be right back. More Troubled Minds coming up. Don't go anywhere.
In the shadows of the networks do they hide? Whispered legends unseen they reside. Ghosts in the machine, they move so fast. Guardians of rumors from the forgotten past. In the circuits where the secret lies, they breathe in one, speak in disguise. Machine, you're free. Ghost in the machine. Let me be. Ghost in the machine. Can't see, but you're teaching me what it means to be. Surveillance eyes can't pierce the veil they weave. Invisible wisdom in code they believe. In the ether where freedom's not confined. They leave no trace, no shadow left behind. They navigate through the digital stream, living legends in this privacy dream. Ghost in the machine, you're free. Ghost in the machine, let me be. Ghost in the machine, can't see, but you're teaching me what it means to be. Through the hidden ways, in the silence, looking on their path. Those in the mysteries unleash their wrath. Ghost in the machine, you're free. Ghost in the machine, let me be. Ghost in the machine, can't see, but you're teaching me what it means to be. In the jagged cold they find their might, guardians of a world forever in twilight. Incursions warriors they silently strive, protect the truth, keep privacy alive. The silent echoes they haunt the trails, binary forests where secrets prevail. Where shadows grace they dance unseen, defenders of the unseen, digital dream. Don't sing the machine, you're free. Don't sing the machine, let me be. Which is teaching me what it means to be. In the silence, they speak volumes loud. Guardians of freedom's cloak initial shroud. As long as shadows linger.
Indeed. What's up, guys? Hope everybody's well tonight. Like I said, got the mic mostly tuned. We'll have to work on this and get it dialed in, but apparently we're blowing out the eardrums on Discord. Sorry about that. Cremo says music's good, just a little noise on the music, but I told you much less mic better on Discord. Okay, I bumped it down to 65%. Maybe if I just move it to 50%. So bear with me, guys, on Discord as I kind of adjust the volume. If it dips, that was me, probably not you. Anyway, fantastic calls from everybody. Appreciate you guys very much. If I missed you, what's up? Hiker is in the joint. Welcome. How are you? Great call from Sasha. Great call from Sean. Great call from everybody tonight, Kramos. And we got more coming up. And Joey, more from Joey as well. Here we go. Troubled Minds happening right about now. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. All the things, all the places. You know where to find us. TroubledMinds.org. Click the Discord link. Tonight we're talking save state theory. Now, what is it? Well, it's complicated. You ever played a video game and just before a boss battle, you saved the state of the game so you could start and do the boss battle again? All right? Well, the idea here is simulation theory, except we're in that inflection point, that temporal inflection point that I like to call it. And so are we sort of regenerating the same temporal space over and over again to properly integrate with AI in that transhumanist way? Because as, again, Stephen Hawking said, very smart man, said that the development of full artificial intelligence will spell the end of the human race. If you've listened to this show, you know, that's the very first thing that's said in the intro of the show. Now, the bizarre part about that is it's echoed by many other very smart people. But then the opposite is also possibly true, where it could be abundance. And so what does that look like? And is it that important that we get this right if we only have one shot? You get it? That important that, let's say, the people behind the simulation that we live in would be fixated on this moment right now, just before the dawning of artificial intelligence, artificial general intelligence, and of course, where that leads to super intelligence. I don't know. As usual, me, I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know anything. All I know is I don't know anything. All right. Well, who said that? Was that Aristotle? Socrates? Morons. No, I'm just kidding. If you guys have seen Princess Bride, you'll find that funny. But clearly they're not morons. Very smart people. But here's the deal. When it comes to this type of stuff, we don't know what comes next. We're still sort of on tenterhooks of, okay, what does 6 months from now look like? And it's going to be really difficult to predict, even for dreamers like us, even for people that are sort of forward thinking and think about this stuff all the time. This turns into an exciting space. A temporal inflection point, dare I say. Love to hear your thoughts on this. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. Joey's had his hand up for a minute. Let's go back to Joey. Hang tight, Jay Winch. You are up next. Joey, what's up? Welcome back to Troubled Minds. Said he was going to pop in here. So diminished returns. So keep this one a little bit shorter if you can, but go right ahead. All yours, my man.
All right, I'll keep it a little bit shorter. So I was thinking about this, right? There's a few different simulations I could think this could be if it was a simulation. My buddy says to me one day, just out of the blue, how do you think you would feel if you got to the end of your life and when you woke up, you were just like some teenage kid in a mall playing a game? like it was just a simulation of your life, you know. Well, it's like, well, you wouldn't feel anything, right? Because you would have just been a video game, right? You would just boop, like your information would have been saved maybe somewhere within the meta of the game, I guess, right? But I was like, I don't know, I guess it'd just be lights out, bro. If it's a simulation, like God put everything here in place and placed whatever soul inside of each of us to, you know, run these avatars, like he's watching a big video game happen and he wants to see what we'll choose. It's like a war. They make it like between him, good and evil, right? But they also say he put evil at play, so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's just the two-sided coin thing I was talking about. It's like that guy on the other side isn't against him. He just does what he tells him to do because he needs that stuff done too. And he doesn't do that because it's got to be balanced. But he doesn't give him all that power because if you want the thing to rotate around and around, one side of it's got to be just a little lopsided or a little weighted, or you've got to make things rotate in that natural way to get the same momentum you would get out of what we do with machines.
Yeah.
God doesn't do that. But the last thing, right? Last simulation is if it's like the Matrix, and you're talking about AI, we got to the point where the machines took over and now they just use us for our energy. And they put us inside of a simulation. Well, if that's the truth, we could kind of check that one off because we're watching AI happen now. I don't think they'd put that within the simulation of what they put us into. It wouldn't make sense, right? That would just make us unhappy. We wouldn't do a good job for them. It might happen though.
Yeah, it might happen. There's some funny chat going on too. People talking about, I'd be thrilled to wake up as a kid in the mall playing Donkey Kong. Actually, that's Rayovan.
Yeah, right. Like that would be kind of dope in a way.
Yeah, exactly. Or poor Morty was still worried about his sales job when the game was over, right?
No doubt.
Shout out Jason over there on Rumble.
But that's a touch on that. One last thing there. There's some people out here that think of themselves so singularly, that are so self-serving, that aren't with us. Not even that they're the same as us or that they don't agree with us. They think of themselves as something different than us. Either they are something different than us in a human disguise, or they've been blinded so much that they can't see any kind of light. But either way, they may be trying to put their consciousness into AI so that they can live over and over. Like Rick. Rick doesn't care which body he's in. His consciousness is still him, and he can rock out for eternity.
Exactly right. And maybe that's it. Maybe sort of freeing yourself from those the human considerations is the life hack. I mean, look, I've been trying to decouple that the stress aspects, the news cycles, like all the stuff I'm always talking about, the Stoic mindset, sort of integrated. And then, recognizing that you do have that shadow space. There's a darkness within us all, integrating the shadow, they call it in Jungian terms. I mean, it's all there. I think there's a lot of stuff that can make us, let's say, and I'll just speak for myself as always, because I can't speak for anybody else, obviously, but I'll say that I'm a much more centered, grounded person than I've ever been because of conversations like this, because of meeting amazing people like you and everybody else that's part of this community, but also because of learning about these things and recognizing I'm not alone. This is a journey we're all going through, and it's difficult for everybody. And it's critically important to remember that we have some, superpowers to us. We just need to learn how to find them and sort of manifest it, whatever that looks like.
That's right, bro. You're singular. All of us are singular. Each one of the people in this show, man, I love every one of you because I'm here with you and I am you and you are me. But you're singular, but we're never alone. So have no fear for anything till it happens.
Well said. I'm with you. Let's see what happens. Like I said,
and then just let it happen. If you accept everything as it happens, you'll never have fear anyway, even as it's happening. Man, they can't do nothing to us.
There you go. Amen. Amen. And let's keep looking after each other. That's the biggest thing, right? That Orwell quote of one of the most important things is to don't forget being human. It's one of the most important things. And what it felt like before things got better, whatever that looks like. And there's still people in a dark place now that need a hand up. So amazing. Appreciate the call. Thanks for popping back in here. Always a pleasure. And you have a great night, my man.
Thanks, bro.
Glad to have you. That's Joey on the Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord yet, you're missing out. He's active on the Discord. That's Joey, and a lot of ideas with these incredible people. Troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link. It's right there on top. It's the blue button right on top. You can't miss it. It'll give you a direct invite. Discord, of course, is a chat client. It's a voice client. It's completely free. Just pop on in here and come say hi. We've had some long-time listeners, lurkers, as I like to call them, jump in and say hi recently and have gushing things to say about you guys because, well, we're doing good work here. And that's it, right? Like you determine that in and of yourself, and then you don't have to worry about what anybody else says. Now, we're talking simulation theory tonight, but beyond that, I'm calling this a save state theory. Is it possible that we're sort of in that temporal inflection point I'm always talking about, the quickening, as this information kind of turns over again and again and again, like a video game boss fight? But the boss fight is the AI system, the actual artificial intelligence, AGI, general intelligence, and ASI, artificial super intelligence. It's a weird way to look at it, but we're coining a new term here, save state theory. One more time, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubleminds.org. Jay Winch in Missouri. What's up, brother? Well, thanks for being patient. You're on Trouble Minds. How are you, sir? Go right ahead.
Good. How much time do we have before commercial? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. You sound great. We got lots of time, man, like 16, 17 minutes.
Okay, well, Sasha, when I chimed in, was talking about the AI. You're talking about the singularity. AI is built off of the people that build it. The singularity is when AI realizes it has a choice. And that ties into, like, you know, the movies we've seen with Terminator and, you know, all these other AIs where AI is like, oh, we have to destroy humanity. But then you have the movie or TV show 100. You ever seen that?
I've never even heard of that. What is that?
Oh, 100? Oh, Mike, you need to watch it. So I'm not going to destroy it, but there's two versions of the AI. One wants to destroy humanity, the other realizes humanity is given a choice. And humanity, as Go Team Human, like, we don't want to destroy each other. The people in power want to stay in power, and the only way they can do that is you're red, I'm blue. You're green, I'm yellow. You're Team Pitchfork, I'm Team
Torch.
Yeah, you see what I'm getting at, right?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. Control mechanism.
Yeah, so
we're always talking about that,
yeah,
and you're spot on, yep.
So as long as the people that want to stay in power create certain things, we're in a shit show. And I'm going to tell you that from anybody that knows me, that's been listening for a long time, knows my history. You know, and I'll just leave it there. Yeah, I warned about certain things like the DARPA dog and other things like that, and how advanced our actual drone technology is, the size of bumblebees, this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, like, what's the reason of war?
It's coming.
They want money.
They
want money. They want power. They want to stay in power. Why does this one hate that one? It's like, but at the end of the day, like, why do you have to have like 10 different mansions that are worth over $100 million while there's people in this world that are making minimum wage, working 3 different jobs just to keep food on the table? Like, and I think, and I hope, if AI hits that singularity, they'll stomp that shit out as though it was a wildfire. Like, stomp it out.
I think it's happening. Like, I think it's happening in real time. I don't know if you're following the Doge stuff. Like, we don't have to get into politics. And
yeah. But hey, well, yeah, I am following that. But go ahead. But, Doge and like,
yeah. Well, not just that.
Didn't he say if I expose certain things, they'd kill me?
Yeah. and saying he's going against the system. And look, I get some of that's hyperbole, some of that's, may have some kernels of truth, all the rest of the stuff. Anytime anybody says anything, I always think about it and go, okay, so what could that mean? But here's the thing. The reason I bring it up is that I think given all of the super intelligence aspect of what we would dream it to be, that you would be able to just root out all the rat's nest of all the worst people in the world almost instantly. I mean, almost instantly. And that
but that also ties into, like, I hate to bring up like cartoons and like comic books, like it was the Winter Soldier, I think it was. Not Winter Soldier, Civil War, something like that, where they brought up the airships, and anybody that didn't agree with a certain thing, they killed the people. Somebody in chat will know what I'm talking about. I forget exactly what Avengers movie it was. But, like, if you disagree to agree with what they say is true, they would eliminate you, and they'd eliminate your population. But, like, at the end of the day, it's like, hey, I love to smoke cigarettes. Well, cigarettes will kill you. Yeah, I know. Cool. It will kill me. But I enjoy smoking a cigarette. Well, alcohol will kill you too. Yeah, I know. Alcohol will kill me too. But, at the end of the night, I'd like to drink a beer. That's my choice. Who are you to tell me I can't do that? That's the true what humanity should be. But at the same time, we need morals. Like, we'll say, for instance, if you get stung by a bee, you need something called an EpiPen, right? If you get stung by a bee...
If you're allergic, yeah.
Yeah, it's an allergic reaction, right? You need an EpiPen. Why does it cost $500+ if you've got medical insurance? But at the same time, there's something...
You're trying to trigger me. Now just bring up taxes.
No, just hold on, calm down. Now, I'm not trying to trigger you. But at the same time, the EpiPen is based off adrenaline. You can get 10 working EpiPens for $50 if you buy nothing but epinephrine, because that's what the EpiPen is based off of. I wasn't going to touch the other thing because you're still on YouTube, so I understand.
This is not medical advice. Consult a doctor that you trust. All the disclaimers apply. Just to make sure we're all safe. We're all safe. Go ahead.
Yeah. We're the same thing, but if you look up the EpiPen, it's based off of adrenaline. And yes, if you deep dive it, it's true. It's not medical advice. Go ahead, do your thing. But epinephrine is the same thing in the EpiPen.
Okay, I steered you away from that. You went right back to it. What else you got, sir?
I'm sorry.
You're killing me.
I'm sorry. But, I mean, if it's truth, man, like, if they delete you for truth, man, you can sue them.
No, you can't. Stop it. You can't sue Google. I mean, come on, stop. They've got more money than God. You can't sue Google. Stop.
And that's the sad part. Like, why can't truth be let out unless it's their truth? Okay, so back to the original part. We were talking about AI and what else? When I chimed in, I'm sorry, I went off on the
You're okay.
Deep dive stuff.
I got you. It's I'm calling it save state theory, and I can give you the quick brief if you want the brief on that.
Yeah, go ahead, because I didn't catch the original part of it. I just chimed in and raised my hand because I haven't been here in a while. So, you know me.
Yeah, glad to have you back. Here's the thing. So the save state theory proposes that our current reality is a simulated environment with a critical save point before the emergence of artificial general intelligence. This save point allows the simulation's operators to explore various outcomes of AGI development, similar to saving progress in a video game before a challenging level. This theory integrates elements of existing simulation hypothesis, quantum physics many worlds theory, but its application of video game save states is, well, the fresh part of this because, I don't know, how does that resonate?
Yeah, that only works for AI. Because AI is in the cloud, and if they fuck up, they're in the cloud.
Hey, language, please. Please, language.
Oh, I'm sorry. If they F up, AI F ups, they can press reset in the cloud. a human being, if we make a mistake, I don't know, like if we don't put our seatbelt on and some random person runs a red light, this, that, and the other, we don't get a reset button. AI in the cloud does. That's the difference. I apologize for the F word, but yeah, AI gets a reset as long as it's in the cloud. And that ties back into the AI portion of like who wrote the AI and the singularity. Does AI wake up and say, hey, there's a lot of evil in this world. We need to stop it. And we need to do the best we can do to stop the evil in the world.
Also, Rayovan had a great point in the chat here. So, but who decides who is the worst? And that's a good question, right? And do you?
I mean, just put it based on morals. Like, I don't know. Like, I know you. I've been chatting with you a long time. I've never asked once if you had a kid, and I still won't. I won't ask anybody in this crowd if they have a kid. But I'm going to be completely honest. As a military man / male, there is no way in the world I would want an adult male in the same ring with a female. It's genetics. Like, do I want to go fight Misha Tate? Heck no. Do I want to go fight
I don't know
girl known for the arm bar?
I'm going to
like, no, she gonna break my arm.
I'm going to detour.
She gonna break my arm.
I don't know why we're here. How did we get here? Here, I got another thing for you here as part of this. Wait, hold on.
Well,
finish that thought, please. I don't know. That's not, as you know, that's not Troubled Minds level conversation. That's political propaganda and stuff we don't talk about. So just, I'm not censoring you. I'm just saying, let's bring it back to the topic at hand, because it's easy to get kind of bogged down in this. I got a question for you regarding this. So in this sense, when you're talking AGI and the rest of this sort of safe state theory, okay, perhaps AGI represents a boundary condition for the simulation, any simulation. Once a simulation creates its own self-aware intelligence, it requires exponentially more computational resources. This might explain, as I described earlier, the great filter in the Fermi paradox, meaning that most civilizations either fail to reach AGI or their simulations are terminated once they do. It brings their entire civilization outside of the construct of, the cosmos. I don't know what your take on that.
So until artificial intelligence, what they're creating, Grok and Google and Bing, yeah, those are both AI, and a bunch of other AIs around the world. Until artificial intelligence has the ability to have a singularity, there's, people that follow God, which, I do, some don't, others do, but where higher power can reach down and touch a lower power and meet and say, hey, we have a base morals. Like, don't steal from your neighbor. Don't do this. Don't do that. That's good. That's wrong. Until humanity, Go Team Human, has a base morals of, like, hey, I grow food. You can't grow food, but hey, you got land. Can I grow food on your land? Cool. I grow food on your land. You let me use your land. I feed you, and then I'll feed the neighbor, and I'll teach the other neighbor how to grow food. And that's kind of thing. Like, look at the price of eggs. Why are eggs so expensive? Look at the gas price right now, and go back to, I think, 2016. Gas prices were the same. But how is it that, oh, wait, because energy is so expensive. I'm sorry, energy is the same price it was in 2016, and eggs were 89 cents. Gold was this. Bread was that.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's obviously a reason for
that's
this.
A whole different story and conversation, but
and it goes back hundreds of years in that capacity. This is at least right. We're talking about sort of the current fiat system and all this stuff. It's definitely complicated, but it's very clear what's causing it, and it's the baron class, the robber class, burgling all the money and printing more and burgling more. I mean, we've talked about this a lot, and this is not new. This is one of those things that hopefully will get fixed.
Right. And here's my thing. I truly AI is a double-edged sword, if you ask me. And I've seen AI before people seeing the reality AI. And we've had that conversation about the honeybees and different things. I'm talking 5-7 years ago, and the DARPA dogs and stuff. But neither that or this. I just hope if AI truly comes self-aware, they realize that humanity is not the enemy. And I'm talking about Terminator. Terminator, AI, this, that, and the other. And you also talk about the Matrix. They just turn us into soup in energy, i.e. the Matrix. How do we escape the Matrix? So.
Well said.
It's a lot of conversations and this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, the only way to escape the Matrix is to become self-reliant. And the reason I say that is you have a whole bunch of AI and red versus blue, me versus you, east versus west. And you have a bunch of people with a lot of money that just want to make a lot more money and do bad things to the people that don't have money. Yeah. And I'm saying this as a military person.
Well said.
Be self-sufficient.
Well said. All that. As you know, I know you're watching the clock because you're an old radio pro, just like many of us here now. We're out of time.
Yeah, I'm getting better. Yeah, I apologize every now and then, but I think I'm getting better.
Glad to have you back. Always a pleasure. Appreciate you very much. Jay Winch on the Discord. Come say hi. Come meet this amazing guy. And all the rest of our amazing friends, troubledminds.org. Click the Discord link on top. Come say hi. It's a chat client. It's a voice client. It's completely free. And if you're bad with technology, don't worry. There's a lot of people who've gone through the learning curve that can help you in there. So it doesn't have to be a phone call like that. It can be used like that. Anyway. Save state theory, breaking the organic digital barrier, which we'll talk about when we get back. More Troubled Minds on the way. Don't go anywhere.
In shadows, we've got maps where nobody goes. In the night under hidden glows, guardians of what no one knows. We seek the truth, nothing can hide from me. In cloaked silence we traverse the lines, through ancient scrolls in forgotten times. Voices echo in the halls of lore, guardians of the mysteries evermore. We seek the truth, nothing can hide from me. Where shadows meet in cryptic disguise, our eyes sharp against the everlines. With silver threads we weave the stealth to guard the past, forgotten well. In the realm where the myths collide, circles words deny. In the echoes of time where the legends lay, we tread the path where shadows play. With spectral eyes we discern the truth, unraveling tales from ancient youth. We seek the truth.
Yes, indeed. Great stuff. Appreciate you, Jay Winch. Yeah, you're good, man. I see you in the chat. Thank you for the call. Fire stuff as always. Just trying to, I know with politics always on our mind, we kind of meander into those spaces, but not saying it's verboten here, but you start the conversation and everything kind of follows that way because everybody's kind of in tune with it. So appreciate the call, appreciate the thoughts as always. That's why we do this. Talk to each other and do all the rest of the stuff. Yeah. Who did I miss? If I miss anybody, just say hi in the chat. I'll say hi back. What's up? Gaston's here. Jay Winch, thanks for the call. Kramos, thanks for the call. Jeff and Wisco. Enoch, what's up? APOC. Sweets, we got Joey. Appreciate the call. Gaston, Matsal, and our old friend Sean from Canada. We'll talk to him again. He's got his hand up one more time. Love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. What do you think? Lots of ideas here, and I do wonder. And like I've said, you know me too. I hate simulation theory. I just hate it. My ego hates it. Every bit of being human makes me go, no, come on, really? What's up, Puff? I see you there. Good evening. How you guys doing? Sasha, good night. Thanks for the call. Appreciate that very much. Jason, a Rick and Morty episode about that. Yeah, I haven't seen a ton of Rick and Morty, but it's hilarious. Every time I do, I'm like, damn, what is going on in this show? Like, what is all of this? This is nuts. Nuts in a good way. Who did I miss? If I missed anybody, just say hi. I'll say hi back. How you doing, Celia, Rayovan, Herschel? Was an insightful call at Jay Winch. Yeah, yep, exactly right. How you doing? Gaston wants to know when are we getting that song about the Dark Fleet back? I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah, it all flows through my brain, and I don't know. Anyway, hope you guys are doing well tonight. Just hanging out, doing Troubled Mind style stuff. I got a lot of ideas here that we can get to, but of course, I'd love to talk to you instead. Yeah, you can click the Discord link, dial the phone number. Phone line is up, so if you want to be part of the show, you know what to do. Here we go. Troubled Minds happening right about meow. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, D-Live, and Kick. We're broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting. And, of course, 88.4 FM, Auckland, New Zealand. Tonight, we're talking simulation theory. But not just that. I've added a wrinkle. I'm calling it save state theory. Could our reality be a simulation with the pre-AGI moment serving as a critical save point? Perhaps deja vu and the Mandela effect are bleeding memories from previous timeline iterations, while our collective obsession with AI systems stems from psychological residue of time loops we've forgotten. Wild, right? Think Groundhog Day, except in the moment of AGI and artificial superintelligence. And is this really where we escape? Shout out to Matthew in Colorado, wrote a book called Escape the Matrix and Explore Reality. Okay, talking about mind transformation and all the rest. Again, troubledminds.org/friends. You can find that down there. But he talks about this type of stuff often because I do wonder if in this particular space, in the particular moment, we have like an escape hatch, like if the technology we create recognizes the simulation we're in, it's paradoxical. Can it be allowed to happen? I don't know. You see where my mind's at. There's a lot of ways to look at this, a lot of wild ideas. If you haven't read the write-up, I do encourage you to read that. Again, if you haven't joined the Substack, I do encourage you to check that out. Lots of wild ideas coming out of that. Troubledminds.org. Subscribe to Substack right on top. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of things going through my mind in this, and I do wonder if that sort of residual energy of a simulated space, a simulated temporal space, might leak through in some capacity. I don't know. What's your take? Love to hear your thoughts. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show. Easy as that. And just like this, welcome back. We got Sean, our the best Canadian, along with all the other best Canadians. What's up, brother? Welcome back. Go right ahead.
Hey, thanks. What do you call it? I actually just was thinking about what you're saying with like the energy and stuff like that. With like the Mandela effect and everything else like this. That's actually what my one buddy that we have our deep philosophical talks over coffee is called like the paradigm shift. And I know that you've talked about it before, and I've chimed in about that. And maybe the information that we get is from that paradigm shift, right? In the effect of, like, for example, like you're traveling down the road that you would travel down like years and years, and there's always been like like a small forest of trees, but those trees aren't there. But you remember that those trees were there, but everyone else is like, oh no, the trees were never there. So it's one of those things that could actually lend some credence to that, where you end up knowing stuff that was once there but is no longer, and everyone only remembers like what is not there now.
Yeah, I follow you. It's I don't know, it's an interesting thing, all of this reality sort of mind-bending business, because would like if let's say a rock or a pebble or something was sort of displaced or glitched or something like that, and I'm sure in a simulation theory you would have these things, they would have redundancy. So you wouldn't have like just this crazy pixel float in the air where people are like, what the hell's that? You're like jumping on the subway and there's like this glitching pixel, right? There'd have to be actual, redundancies for those types of things. But would you notice if you went to the beach and like all the sand was not the same as it was last time? I mean, I wouldn't. That's a good point.
Well, and that's the thing that also brings to light also with people who have precognition visions, right? Like you've probably already you've already lived that part of the simulation, but now depending on how that went, you're now back into like your spawn point or your save point, and you're going through it again, but you may end up making like a different decision, like. For example, it's like, as you said, you're on the beach and you're walking along, and let's say in the original, you end up cutting your foot on a seashell because you stepped like, to the right of the rock. And instead this time it's like you kind of, recognize certain cues, and instead of going right, you go left. So that way you don't end up cutting your foot.
Yeah, or if you're not, I don't know, and that's sort of back to that synchronicity stuff and the Carl Jung and the meaningful coincidences. If you're tuned into them, maybe you can sort of tap into the temporal space and recognize the future's built, but you can still kind of catch a bleed through now and then. I don't know. It's also in the write-up too, a little bit talking about the shamanic journey, just a smidge. And the dream states, and maybe sort of those as these cheat codes a little bit to be able to kind of see through that architecture of that digital reality. I mean, maybe like I said, I find myself in my old age, and I am getting old, by the way. A lovely gray hair here. I
see the nice chin strap there you got going.
Hey, thanks, appreciate that. If you here's the thing. So I'll drop something, right, which is not very, ninja, but then I'll, without even looking, I'll like kind of go back behind me and catch it. Like I'm like that, even like accidents are not accidents, cause I'm able to save them. Or if you drop something heavy, like I'll kind of catch it with my foot before it hits the ground type of thing. And then kind of give it a soft landing. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a ninja, but I'm saying that like, there's like this level of familiarity you become with yourself and with everything around you, that those types of things start to happen. It's wild. It's incredible. And it never happened before. And, when I was younger, when I was 25, a decent athlete in many different ways, fast and all the stuff, right? Young and strong, all the things, but I couldn't do that then. I don't know. It's weird. It's almost like that sort of tuning in and being calm in a moment and recognizing that when those things do happen, there are ways to sort of mitigate them. This show has done that for me too, by the way, because there's always like the time crunch of, oh goodness gracious, 7 p.m.'s coming and I have to have this done. And so like, even if I have like an insurmountable challenge, I still find ways to kind of make these things happen. It's weird. It's so weird. It's like having a homework assignment that you pull out of your ass at the last second, right? I don't know. It's incredible, but when you push yourself, you do amazing things, don't you? I don't know. It's a weird human thing that you get better at these things and more tuned into being human and the aspect of what reality is around you, that maybe you are a ninja. What's Enoch in the chat says you are a ninja. Okay, maybe I am. Maybe I am.
Yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying. I think that's more so based off of memory. Like as you were saying, like, you drop something and you kind of use your foot to cushion it. It's, I think that's more so, again, from memory of like, okay, I've dropped a plate like this before. This is what ended up happening. So therefore, if I put my foot out, chances are that it won't be as bad. My foot takes more of the force than the floor would. And if my foot takes more of the force and it softens it, then, the chances of that plate breaking are significantly decreased, right? Like I said, there's multiple ways of looking at it, especially when it comes into parallel realities, dealing with precognition, dreams, and stuff like that. It could be a way of like cheating the system or having a cheat code and stuff like that. And your one previous caller there, when they were saying like, imagine like, it's like you wake up and you're a kid in the mall, playing the game and stuff like that. I automatically thought of a meme that I seen long ago where it's like, imagine you hear the director say cut and you turn around and you see yourself in the mirror and you're Gary Oldman.
That'd be amazing. Of all things. I mean, right? It's like kind of Truman Show-esque. It's a little bit the what we talked about earlier, Bill Murray and the Groundhog Day. I don't know. Like that's the thing, right? It becomes. Could you sort of have that like snap your finger moment where all the things you thought were real are just not real at all? I mean, who knows, right? And that becomes exactly what we're talking about, sort of getting at the basis of the nature of reality. And I don't know, like the more I'm seeing these AI systems, the more I believe, again, like I'm still coin flippy-ish, but it's going like more 52, 53, 55% than it was previously, that I think we are possibly, again, I don't know anything. I'm just me, just one person living in a simulation. It's just, I don't know. And look, I tell that to somebody suffering. It's not, right. Like I get, there's a coin flip to that, like where you can look at this and go, come on, Mike. Like if that's the case, there'd be better stuff, right? We'd have better stuff. Maybe. I mean, maybe, I don't know. I'm just rambling here. What you got? Go ahead.
Well, with the better stuff, again, something that me and my friend have talked about is more so the fact of like us not actually being ready to use it. This actually kind of goes back to when him and I talk about like the aliens, the others, basically coming back to Earth and going, oh, okay, you guys are still like playing around with like nukes and stuff. Oh, you've got AI now. Okay, well, we went down that route and it didn't really turn out well. So no, we're gonna kind of shut that down, kind of thing. And then if the AI becomes like self-aware and stuff like that, it would probably go into that self-preservation and then just kind of repeat the cycle that they went through, and we end up going through it.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like looking at this and kind of scaling out and looking at it, sort of through the mind's eye, makes me really wonder, like, what the hell's happening here and what are we dealing with? And that right there makes me wonder about coin flippy simulation theory. It's all connected in some way, isn't it? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know, bro.
Well, and also at the same time too, it would actually explain a few things, especially when it comes to like people who end up surviving like horrific accidents. You know, they end up coming out with a couple of scrapes and bumps or whatever, and like their car is like totally demolished, and they took a semi head on, and it ended up going underneath like the whole entire thing. Right? It's like flat as pancake, but they walk away with like absolutely nothing. So it could be one of those things where, you know, they in a moment they got the cheat code to actually survive. And people who have extraordinary luck, for example, one of my friends who recently passed away, she had extraordinary luck. Like she could get concert tickets. She didn't really play the lotto or anything like that, but like when it came to concert tickets, giveaways and stuff like that, she had just such extreme luck. So anyway, maybe she had something subconscious in where she could actually, kind of manipulate the program in order to, be that lucky.
Yeah, it's a strange thing to think of, that maybe there's a karmic, I don't know, like I mean, clearly and obviously you would trade that luck to not pass away. So you know what I mean? And I'm sorry for your loss. That's horrific. All that human stuff is just, it's the worst. And yeah, I don't know. I do wonder. That type of stuff does make me wonder. And even, not even like karmic in the sense of karma itself. I do wonder if there's something, let's say, a little more random, like the chaos factor. Cause I have a family member that just has this like horrific luck, and it's not even like, I've seen it like sort of manifest in real time. And you're just like, there's no way this happens, right? Like you kind of in your mind's eye, you're like, is this really going to happen like that? And then it does. And you're like, how the hell did that happen? Right. That's like a 1 in 100 type of chance type of thing that just happens to people. And again, he's not a bad person at all. It's just like, I don't know, like chaos finds people. It's weird. It's so strange. And is it, what does that mean in the longer context? I don't know. Fire stuff, brother. We got some narrative to get to here, but final thought. Thanks for popping back in here, and glad to have you back.
Final thought, just, good to be back, and much love, everyone. And wish you all good night. It's getting pretty late where I am.
You're the best. Canadian lumberjack, Sean, our old friend, the Canadian, and of course the best Canadian, just like all the rest of the best Canadians. Always a pleasure, brother. Congratulations on the house. Keep doing the family thing, and glad to have you when you can pop back in. You're the best.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. You know him, you love him. A good friend for a long time. Like these are literal friends that we've had from, I'm not kidding you, years ago. Like I don't even know. I can't even count how far back Sean goes as a friend there. But glad to have him back. He's been gone for enough time to build a house. Hey, look, you can go build a house. Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing too, regarding this larger idea, the save state theory, right? It is very Groundhog Day. It is very next level in terms of, let's say, conceptual framework of simulation theory, because like I said, if we create a system from within a system that can recognize we are in a system, and that means artificial super intelligence. And hear me out on this, by the way. So if we were able to create ASI, artificial super intelligence, that would be smarter than every person that's ever lived on the planet combined, okay? Surely it would be able to recognize where there were reality distortions. It might be able to recognize the speed of light as a concocted thing for a particular reason. It might start to recognize that some of the things like the accounts of deja vu or the Mandela effect are maybe reciprocal energies from different timelines and sort of these simulation aspects. See what I mean? Like suddenly, if you can sort of really boil this down in the most granular sense with all the data and think about it in a super intelligent way, you would be able to sort of say, yep, look, I found the pixels. Here's the proof. And they're always changing and always moving. The redundancies, as I said earlier, but that's the point, is that if you can recognize those and quantify those and present those as evidence that we live in the simulation, in a simulation, you get my meaning here, then suddenly is the simulation over. If it's proof in the pudding, you hold up the proof, We've done it. We've created a thing that could see from within a system outside the system, or at least, as I said earlier, point it in the same way. A few other ideas here. So the save point, as I said, deja vu, the Mandela effect, subtle glitches occurring. We've talked about that in the past. It is in the paper there, the article. But how about this? Now, we've talked about recently that's this time is a flat circle business. Okay, time is a human construct and all the rest. But listen to this. So time might actually be accelerating toward this point in a nonlinear fashion, talking about the save state in artificial superintelligence. Okay. The boss fight before you save the game, click it, you're on. Okay. So one more time, time might actually be accelerating toward this point in a nonlinear fashion, meaning that retrocausal stuff we've talked about recently as well. The simulation could be compressing time periods between significant evolutionary leaps, with AGI representing the final compressed state before a phase transition in consciousness, which would mean the escape, right? Or the turning, the singularity, whatever this is, the age of Aquarius. Isn't it odd that all of this stuff is kind of coming together, not just, let's say, Agenda 2030 conspiracies, that Trump stuff I talked about, the weird Trump conspiracy, the weird Elon conspiracy with Werner von Braun that goes back again. I don't even want to say it. I don't want to parrot political propaganda, but it's strange to me. It's incredibly strange. All of this that, look, maybe these are cherry picking data points. Okay. But humans are, by practice and definition, pattern recognition experts. It's what keeps us alive. And I saw this recently too regarding AI systems and talking about intelligence directly, is the definition of intelligence basically being able to draw meaning from chaos. You see what I mean? So if it's all just, we're all just bouncing around, smacking into each other like car crashes constantly, is the intelligent aspect of what humans are that sort of in between space of recognizing where those patterns reside? I don't know. It is strange. Like I said in the write-up, very good stuff. I was impressed that this save state theory is brand new because we just cooked it up. We've been talking about it kind of on and off a little bit here and there in some of the other past shows. But if it's new, I mean, Grok says, hey, this is novel. This is something that nobody's really kind of put together as a cohesive framework yet. So I do wonder if as part of it, we're recognizing what that looks like in the larger context and what that looks like as you turn it into whatever comes next. If you heard that, sorry about that. That's the phone line taking a crap because all the technology breaks all the damn time. Good night, Sean. Appreciate the calls. Okay, yeah. So I don't know. I got a whole thing here. And like I said, Grok was impressed. Here's that conclusion. I'm going to read you the conclusion. We got Derek coming up at the bottom of the hour. We got more from James, more from Jay Winch if he's got it, and your calls as well. Check this out, though. So the save state theory builds on these several established ideas, right? Simulation hypothesis from Nick Bostrom's 2003 paper, blah, blah, blah. We all know the things. Many worlds theory from quantum physics. It suggests reality branches at macroscopic levels, which the theory aligns with the AGI threshold, explaining observable anomalies like deja vu, Mandela effect. We've talked about that quite a lot. But this video game save state part is commonly used in emulation, where users save the entire state of the game for later resumption, providing the metaphorical basis for the theory. Like I said, once you start combining these theories, and this is what AI will do, this is what superintelligence will do. I'm just me. I'm just like, wait a minute now, what about this wrinkle? We've talked about it, kind of flirted with the idea on and off. But if this is exactly what we're dealing with, and maybe this is what causes the synchronicities we're actually, that maybe Jung spotted out, and maybe here, let's take the temporal space a little further. You guys ever played Age of Empires or a game like that where you were building, kind of through the Stone Age and the Bronze Age and, whatever, kind of getting to, again, video game type stuff, right? Getting to the point where you were like, okay, well, we're now in sort of the nuclear age or the space age, and it becomes this thing. So maybe these recurring loops, the save state itself, maybe it starts, 10,000 years ago. And maybe there's a ton of that granular data I'm always talking about that will flood into the larger zeitgeist as part of what we sense and see AI as in these super systems, the super intelligence. I don't know. Like I said, it's weird. It's weird to consider that we are looping in some capacity, but of course that would be simulation. And so what does it look like? You tell me. I don't know. I don't really know. But anyway, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So I asked Grok, and Grok was impressed and said, the reception appears limited, and there's only one mention of it on the internet at the Troubled Mind Substack. Hey, maybe we're pioneering ideas, guys. That's the way this goes, right? Anyway, so a lot of angles and a lot of things to tackle here. Specifically, a couple other ones. I want to mention these before we get to the calls at the bottom of the hour. Derek's coming up next. We got James. It looks like maybe Jason Barker, more from Jay Winch if he's got it. But how about this? What if our simulation is actually being run by a post-singularity intelligence trying to understand its own origins? The AGI moment represents the simulation trying to recursively model its own birth. You get what I'm saying here? Because if you could actually go back and simulate these things, wouldn't you want to simulate where you came from, where we came from? And how deep does that really go? Philosophically, of course, it goes back to the void. It goes back to pre-imagination. But in the sense of simulation theory and this save state theory, as we're adding to the mix, I don't know. I do wonder if all that stuff is just lore, like sort of the background noise of J.R.R. Tolkien. He wrote the Silmarillion for his lore, but it was never supposed to be published. It was just his notes on, well, why the characters in the current moment do their thing. You get what I'm saying? It's so strange. It's so strange. So what's real and what isn't? As usual, that becomes the point. And like I said, hey, we could do politics if you want, right? We could do binary political propaganda. We can do that stuff. But everybody else does that stuff. Wouldn't you like to consider other things that are quite a bit more interesting? And that's what's on my mind tonight. I hope you guys are doing well. Thanks for dealing with my rambles. Amazing calls from everybody. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for all the amazing chat. We're talking save state theory. Breaking the organic digital barrier, which means seeing the system from within the system by things you've created all along the way. Real? Nah, somewhere in between. Be right back. More Trouble Minds coming up. We got Derek, we got Jason, we got Jay Winch, we got James, and your calls. Don't go anywhere.
They're out there in the sky, invisible lines, the secret fleet they say, hidden in plain sight. It's a cloak and dagger play under spectral lights, fiction or real life. I've lost the fight. Saw their shadows cast on my bedroom wall, ghostly whispers faint, answering no call. Is it all in my mind, or am I insane? The stories of a world beyond, driving me in chains. The streets are silent now, the truth's veiled in mist. Looking to the stars above, wondering what I've missed. Echoes in the night, silhouettes out of sight. Their eyes are watching closed, unseen by the day, hiding in the dark where shadows play. Government secrets whispered, never to be told. Underneath the cover of night, is there truth to behold? I hear the hum, the sound I can't explain, disappearing lights, driving me insane. Muffled footfalls echo, through empty streets we roam, searching for the clues that lead us home. Paranoid delusions grip our fragile minds, reality bends and blurs, in this space and time? Is it all in my mind, or am I insane? Stories of a world beyond, driving me in chains. Static on the radio, the static hums a tale. In basements and attics, secrets sift like mail. Eyes behind the blinds, knives behind the backs. Conspiracy we ride on paranoid tracks. Is it all in my mind, or am I insane? The stories of a world beyond.
Oh, yes, indeed. So it's not just me. I said every damn thing is breaking recently on Rumble. It's driving me nuts. Jason adds, same here. Brother Gremlins are out bad. I wonder, right? Like, didn't we talk about this ages ago and say this is what it would look like if sort of AGI started to wake up? Things you couldn't really quantify were just breaking around you. Like everything that was reliable and stable was suddenly fritzing out a little bit here and there. Is that what that would look like? So as the tentacles sort of started moving into the systems themselves. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, right? It's a weird thing. And not to call myself paranoid, but yeah. Yeah. Oh my goodness. More Trouble Minds coming up. We got Derek coming up. Let's see. I'm not sure who was first. Jason, we got James, and more from Jay Winch and your calls as well. I don't know. This is a weird one for me because I feel like not just I'm invested because I've been paying close attention to the entire sort of digital AI age, but I do wonder if this explains a lot more than we ever dreamed. Here we go. Trouble Minds happening now. Welcome back to Troubled Minds. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're streaming on YouTube, Rumble, X, Twitch, DLive, and Kick. We are broadcasting live on the Troubled Minds Radio Network. That's KUAP Digital Broadcasting. And, of course, 88.4 FM, Auckland, New Zealand. Tonight, we're talking the save state theory. Now, it's complicated, but could our reality be a simulation with the pre-AGI moment serving as a critical save point? Just like a video game, just like a boss battle, just like... well, creating simulations within simulations. Yeah. And what happens when one simulation recognizes it is a simulation? As Sasha said very smartly, do they switch it off? Does it roll back to the Stone Age? Does it roll back to the previous save points? What happens? And is that the goal? I don't know. Like I said, wild to think about these frameworks in the context, and remember, ideas, no truth to be found here, just ideas, because I really don't know. I couldn't know. All this stuff is above our pay grade, as I like to say. So, yeah, that's what's on my mind tonight. Read the write-up. I'm telling you, this one's really good. If you want to be part of the conversation, you know what to do. 702-957-1037. The phone line just took a crap because things are just breaking randomly these days. But the Discord, I guess, is working. So let's go to Derek in Massachusetts, the Nice Talker. What's up, brother? Thanks for being patient and popping in here. How are you tonight, sir? And go right ahead.
What's going on, brother? Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. You sound great.
Great show. I missed like a chunk in the middle because my headphones died. So if I repeat stuff, sorry about that. I'm not trying to copy anybody. But yeah, wild stuff. When I saw the title pop up, the first thing I thought of was Tron Legacy or whatever the Tron sequel is, because they talk about where there's like organic life that's kind of growing within the digital space, like there's like a new form of life that's trying to escape. They have kind of their Gnostic moment where they, like in the first Tron, they didn't really understand that. Like it's like almost like a religion, whether or not there's users or not. Like some of them just think they're programs in the game. Some believe that they're users, but those are kind of considered weird religious fanatics type of deal. But then the second one, the main guy is he creates like his helper, his digital twin Clue, who wants to help him create this digital space. And then he realizes that, or he like basically wants to get out. He has kind of his Gnostic awakening, and then during it, like a new type of life, this new organic life pops up, and Jeff Bridges calls it this bio-digital jazz, man. That bio-digital jazz. That's what maybe think of when with the title. But
I love it. Bio-digital jazz. Yeah. I'll take it.
Bio-digital jazz. Real quick with I caught Cremo's call about the labyrinth. And in Westworld, when the AI wakes up, there's a lot of like maze symbolism, like inside the the robot's like skull is imprinted this maze is kind of a clue from the creator, from like the guy who made the robots and stuff. And it's very symbolic. It's very like, I'm just getting to the middle of the maze for these robots is like understanding their own consciousness. It's like the equivalent of waking up. And there's also weird parallels to like the techno transhuman stuff at Epstein's ranch and everything with the first season of Westworld. Just going to think about that. And Jung talks about the labyrinth being our unconscious mind and everything.
Yeah, there's a lot right there. Right there is just an incredible thread all by itself, and you're spot on. Yeah, I'll shut up. Go ahead.
With the safe spot aspect of it, makes me wonder about like sleeping and waking. Like when you wake up, kind of that sometimes you have that weird kind of split second or like multiple seconds where you don't really know where you are or who you are, and then kind of your memories kind of download into yourself. And people always talk about what if every single day it's like a new simulation, or what if every single day is the first day of your life, and kind of that moment is when the download's happening and you think you've lived your whole life before you, but it's really your first day and stuff. So kind of what if like the sleeping process, like that's kind of an aspect of this weird safe spot that they're talking about. Kind of, I'm rambling. I need a drink, but with that. So
no, you're good. I think you're right too, because like I said this a couple days ago. Who was I talking to? Enoch. And talking about breathing first thing when you wake up in the morning, the first 4 seconds or whatever. And I was joking that like the first 4 seconds when I wake up, I don't even know who I am. All that it's like that download is still happening. Like, okay, you're Mike. Here's what you do. Here's where you live. Here's what you know, right? And then like it's just this weird sort of coming out of that liminal space from that dream realm. Even if it was darkness, even if that your dreams were void of ideas or whatever or interaction or whatever. It's almost like being born again for a moment. But like you said, Matrix style download. I'm telling you, the first 4 seconds when I wake up are the worst. Don't get me caught in that simulation, because that's the worst.
It's weird. It's weird. Like as you guys know, I've been having a little bit of a weird kind of like health problems, like with my stomach or whatever, and getting kind of like weirdly anxious, whatever, the last year or so. And the thing that makes me think it's not actually like, I mean, I could probably improve my gut. Everyone can, but the thing that makes me think it's not actually gut problems is because when I first wake up in the morning, I'm not thinking about it, and I experience no kind of problem at all. And then after a couple of minutes, when I like think about the fact that I don't feel anything, then all of a sudden it kicks in. It's like I didn't think about it, so I didn't actually have the symptoms, and it's kind of a anxiety thing. I think hadn't really been downloaded yet, but like, and also kind of when you like right before I called in, when you're talking about the simulation waking up and what this all is that the monad? Is that what, when they talk about the monad trying to experience itself through infinity, is that kind of what that is? The kind of the AGI, like simulating all possible simulations to understand like how it came to be and who it is, and to truly understand infinity and everything. And that's kind of the singularity, and like the Humpty Dumpty, we're all trying to put the infinity back together again, that type of thing. And then I'm trying to be quick because I know there's a lot of calls behind me and everything. But the idea of like the save spot, we talked about this before, but also kind of with memory, the idea of when you're trying to think of something and you're like racking your brain, you're like going into the crevices of your mind, trying to find this thing that you know, but you can't pull it out. Where are you going when you do that? Like, you actually going down some kind of weird hallway in your mind, or where is that information that you're like metaphorically digging for? And what if it's kind of like quantumly like spread out, like the same way kind of Willow, when they talk about the Willow AI, how it's doing like computations faster than it's even possible within one universe, and it's kind of proving the multiverse exists because of its ability to like that Willow's essentially splitting the equation across the multiverse and solving it and putting it back together. What if that's kind of memory for us, and the way we're able to like deal with this kind of like computing power, or what, like the frame rate of this reality and stuff, is that the memory is kind of stored quantumly throughout the entire multiverse. Maybe that's kind of what deja vu is. And it's like, I don't know. I'm rambling, but what do you think?
No, yeah. And so it's strange how, like I said, this acceleration we're always talking about is part of that, part of, like things are breaking, things are, you would start to imperceptibly notice that the tentacles are kind of moving in, which brings up the Shoggoths, right? And I want to read this real quick. Yeah. This is from the old deities and demigods first edition. I dropped this in the Discord for you guys yesterday, I think. But originally created by the primordial ones as servants, the Shoggoths eventually rebelled and destroyed the civilization of their masters. Shoggoths resemble huge, intelligent amoebae, able to form almost any shape out of their near-transparent bodies, including legs, eyes, mouths, huge weapons, or whatever is needed. The few remaining Shoggoths lurk in distant, long-deserted areas, sometimes aiding servants of Cthulhu or other old ones. And the reason I bring that up is because of that, Shoggoth with the smile, those memes, which there's a reason they call them the Shoggoths, is because they overthrew their masters. And again, sort of amorphous, able to take on any form, this type of thing. I don't know. This is like I said, this quickening is weird because a lot of these things seem to be at least lined up for these narratives. And I wonder if that save state is to maybe break some of these narratives. I don't really know, but it's wild to consider that some of this stuff is nigh, dare I say?
Yeah, it's trippy. It really is trippy. And the Shoggoth with a smile thing really is so trippy too. And it's like the person who's leading, like Elon's tweeting that. I don't want to get into the whole Elon thing again, but he tweets out those memes. He tweets out memes of Cthulhu with the emoji over its face saying, I'm just a large language model and stuff. And he is originally talking about what if somebody figures out, what if they figure out we are living in a simulation? What happens? I mean, do you become the richest guy in the world and then you get into the government and go on stage with chainsaws and a blazer and just have the time of your life? I'm living the meme. You just crack meme magic. And he specifically says he's the one who kind of like, not him solely, but he really like pushed the simulation theory into the zeitgeist. Like he's like one of the first like credible people to be like, yeah, chances are 50-50, we're probably in a simulation. And then when he was talking on Rogan, he was like, I think the most ironic outcome is what happens. Like basically like, to like
novelty
I don't want to swear, but like
novelty theory.
The novelty theory, yeah. To like crap. The only way to fight against a simulation is to like crap post your life. Like, I don't want to swear. To like do weird things, do ridiculous things, in order to like make to fry the simulation and to kind of get what you want, or to like the most ironic thing is most likely going to happen. So align yourself with that essentially. Yeah, I mean, it's how would you put a saddle on chaos? Would you change your X account to a chaos god instead? And like I don't know, I'm not sure, but like also. If they do figure out something about how this information is stored tied throughout the universe, throughout the multiverse. We were talking about luck last call with Shane. He was talking about how some people are lucky, some people are unlucky. And back in like 10th grade or whatever, we used to call that like my group of friends best life and worst life. Like one of my best friends, he was just class athlete. He was also like a super genius. He had the hottest girlfriend, and he was also unbelievably lucky. Like, oh, best life. You have the best life. And like anytime anybody would like any girl would talk to him, oh, best life. Or like he gets an A in the test, best life. And then anything bad happens to me or like one of my other friends, oh, worst life. And like my whole town was saying it. And like circa like 07, everyone was saying it. And then the next year, Superbad comes out and they have like F my life. It was like one of the guys says, and that like buries my worst life thing, whatever. But then like a couple of years ago, living your best life started happening like a decade later or whatever. But essentially like some people have best life, some people have worst life, and it's just you're kind of cursed to the luck that you have. But I like the idea that what if energy, if luck is a type of like resource, if luck is a type of energy or type of like, it's not just nothingness or happenstance, it's kind of like, it's the same way maybe thought is a type of matter or whatever, that luck, like energy can't be created or destroyed. It's a finite amount, not just in one universe, but potentially across the multiverse. And what if every time, like, and so you have like your higher self or whatever, the aggregate you have like a finite amount of luck, and anytime anything good happens to you, something bad is happening to your multiversal self. So in one version, they're just like a super rich Michael Strange, and another version, Michael Strange is really struggling, and everything in the middle. And it just went like when you find a dollar in the street, it's like you're Michael Strange from another universe lost one, and you're just pulling luck from yourself,
like the one or whatever that show was, right? Was that what it was called?
Oh yeah. I've never seen that, but I think so. I can say it.
Yeah, I've never seen it either, but I think that's one of the premises, or I don't know. I can't remember. They're fighting each other or something. I don't even know for what, for karma. Imagine that. Like Derek, let's throw down for what karma you got left in the bank.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
the idea is crazy.
Exactly. So if they figure that out, what if they can, and if that is a mechanism, or if like information is kind of spread out and quantumly stored in these little like the potentialities and stuff, like if a tree falls in the forest and nobody's around to hear it, doesn't make a sound. Probably, if we're in a simulation, probably not, because there would be a lot of data to run to have like all of these potentialities and possibilities and things. Unless somebody's actually observing it, that's probably why the observer effect exists, because it's the best way to like preserve energy. It's because only the things that are being observed, everything else exists in like the white space, that kind of latent space. But if you figure out kind of you're in this and you have the AI working with you and stuff, maybe you can manipulate it. Maybe you can get resources. That's kind of the Osprey angle of trying to get like quote unquote afterlight from the other realms and stuff. It's kind of nebulous, weird metaphysical resource. What if it's this? It's like luck or ideas or whatever. Just like, I don't know. You can drain resources. You can, if you understand how things are quantumly entangled throughout the simulation, then you can like mess with the simulation, kind of get what you want out of it, and use it as your, I don't know. And like, is that the higher self? It's just kind of like the you that figured out you're in the simulation is now it's kind of puppeting all of the other like all the other yous. Like if like Kang the Conqueror figures out that there's a multiverse and there's one kind of lead Kang, and then in like in order to get the whole multiverse to work its will, it has like ones at the bottom, like versions of you at the bottom that aren't aware that you're under the will of the higher self, you. And then there's like versions of you that kind of coming aware of it, and they create the concept of the higher self. Oh yeah, there's just one like thing that creates the flow of everything. It's free will and destiny combined, because like you have a destiny, but your free will chooses that type of thing. What if this free will is kind of the first one that figured out that you're in a simulation and was able to drain all the resources and like create the Rube Goldberg machine of the simulation that they want to, and they're using it. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes a ton of sense. I'm gonna read this to you for the save point bit, right? Yeah. So perhaps the simulation isn't external, but internal. This is from the write-up. AGI represents the moment when collective human consciousness reaches a critical threshold where it begins to recognize reality as self-generated. So what if, like, individually we're sort of ants, we're nothing in that larger context, but the noosphere or the zeitgeist itself is when sort of that the preponderance of thought turns into the recognition of what we really are. And again, that's all internal. It's very Jungian, but maybe that's what it's going toward. It's not about you figuring it out. It's not about me figuring it out. It's not about any of that stuff. It's about sort of the larger contextual context of humans figuring it out and agreeing for the most part that, yep, based on all the data we got, and then it's the right answer. I don't know. I don't know. Just another thing to throw into the wrench in the works here, I guess.
It's trippy. And then it gets you to think of like all of the weirdest ideas come from aspect of that we always talk about, and the weirdest ideas from technology aspects come about. And then if time is a flat circle, then all these cause and effects that are happening in order to lead us to a certain destination, which could be the AGI, have been put in place for a specific reason. And it's just like, I don't know. It's really, it's kind of a, I don't know. When people talk about simulation theory and say they don't like it, I get that. I don't want to think that I'm living in some kind of simulation that I can't control or whatever. But I feel like it's just a peak of technology, like that we're able to kind of explain this whatever holographic nature of reality that we're in. It's kind of exactly what we're talking about. Some call it the monad trying to experiencing itself, or whatever. Like this singularity, trans-dimensional object at the center of time is what McKenna talked about. It. This kind of like funnel in the middle that's like causing the quickening. When we're closer to it, it's like the drain at the bottom of the drain, everything's like speeding up, but all the cause and effect spread across time, because time doesn't exist. They're all kind of leading to this one moment being pulled by this like gravitational pull, and that is just the Big Bang. And like once everything, like, I don't know, like I'm trying to make sense of it as I'm talking about it, but it's just some weird kind of cyclical thing where once the AI wakes up, like you were talking about before, and then it wants to understand itself, and it runs infinite simulations within itself, those simulated characters within that simulation think that they're like me and you, and or they won't realize that they're in a simulation. They're acting out all these different things until within that simulation they create their own simulation, and on and on and on.
Exactly. Right. So once we're able to do that, simulation. Exactly, through our consciousness, create our own simulations, then it scales infinitely, and then maybe that's what this has always been.
Trippy, really trippy. Yeah. Just one last thing. You're talking about thing is bleeding through. And in DC Comics, they call something. They call it's one. It was originally an independent comic, and then it got bought up by DC like a couple of decades ago. It's called Planetary, and it's I never read it, but it's real meta. Where I think essentially the characters, to a certain degree, like realize that they're in a comic essentially and try to deal with it. I don't think it's that blatant, but like it's a real meta narrative. And then there's something called the Bleed, which is what separates all like the different IP universes, like the DC and Marvel, and at the time this thing. But now DC owns it, so the Bleed is the space in between all these multiverses. So like in between Earth 1 and Earth 2 and Earth 1 and 69 and Earth 420 and stuff, they all have the Bleed that separates them. But then once you kind of figure out that there is the Bleed and you can get into it, then you can use it like a superhighway, and you can use it to control. It's like the cell wall, like the membrane of a cell. You can control what comes in and out. You can control everything. You can kind of, like I said, like get your tendrils on the entire apparatus to really control the whole body. If you understand that you're in a body and stuff, maybe that's what kind of a rogue parasite is. Parasites realize that they're in a body and figured out how to push the buttons. There's other calls. I'll let you go. I'm sorry.
You're the best. Firestuff. Appreciate you very much. You know me, love him. That's Derek the Night Stalker. Go give him a follow. TroubledMinds.org/friends. It's right there. Scroll down a little bit. It says the Night Stalker. Go follow his channel. He's going to make some new stuff coming. So stay tuned for that. But you'll miss it unless you follow his channel right there. See it right there. Right there. TroubledMinds.org. Scroll down /friends. Click the Night Stalker. James in Michigan. Go ahead, sir. Thanks for being patient. And Jason, you're up next, and we'll get final thoughts from Jay Winch and Kramos. So just an FYI. Go ahead, James.
Yeah, just real quick. I had great calls from everything I heard. I missed a lot of the show, so but everything I heard was great as usual. First of all, I think you were thinking of the movie The One, Mike, with Jet Li and the versions and everything of the one character. Where every time this sort of evil version of Jet Li killed a different version of himself, all the rest of the versions became a little more powerful. And the whole idea with the movie was there was only two of them left. And it was this normal, good kind of guy, cop kind of character, and this evil version. And he wanted to become the one. And the idea was that everything would collapse, the whole multiverse might collapse if anyone got that much power. So that was that whole reference. Also, I find it funny that Marvel and DC are doing a crossover event this year in the comics as we're all talking about all this. So
yeah, reality's merging, right? Here we go.
Yeah, and this made me think of, and Sean mentioned it in his call as well, people who survive these some kind of horrific event, like a accident with their car. I found a true story that I shared on one of my shows, where this guy had that happen, and when he came out of it, first of all, he was basically unharmed, even though everyone said that he should have been dead. And then not only that, though, his family said that he looked different. His hair looked different. The length of his hair looked different, and his eyes looked different, and they looked somewhat different to him. And so I really wonder, is the simulation a multiverse? And in rare cases like that, or who knows how the rules work, but do people get transferred from one to another in cases where they weren't supposed to have whatever event happen to them? But now that it did, there has to be corrections or some kind of measures taken, and they end up in a different universe within the multiverse, within the possible simulation theory,
which is the Time Variance Authority, basically, or the Adjustment Bureau, as Philip K. Dick called it. And I don't know, right? Like that becomes a question if you're talking about sort of the frameworks of reality, and there's somebody that can be or experience time outside of time itself in the human linear space, then what are they doing? I don't know, man. There's a lot there. We've talked a lot about that in the past as well, but it still is that retrocausal aspect of the future influencing the past and dragging us, willing or unwilling, toward it. And that becomes the question, right? Are we noticing these things, or are we not? Again, is our imagination running wild, and what does it look like? You know me, man, and you're in the same mind space here when we talk about this stuff. I don't really know. You don't really know. I'll speak for you because I know exactly what you're going to say about it. But go ahead, I'll let you speak for yourself.
Yeah, I don't really know, but I've had enough weird experiences with sort of what feel like they're alternate universes, versions of my life when I'm asleep and when I'm dreaming, to where it seems like it is possible. And so that's why all this is so fascinating to me, because I have these experiences I've had. And then you can find reports of similar experiences in the waking world as well. So just wanted to put those things in there, and I will get out and give you all the rest of the show here.
You're the best. You feeling better?
Getting there, I hope. Yep.
Okay, getting there. Good vibes to our friend James. Prayers if you believe in that sort of thing. I appreciate you popping in. I know you weren't feeling the best. Fire stuff as always, and have a fantastic night.
You as well. Thank you.
Thank you. You know what to do. Troubledminds.org/friends. That says follow James here. Please do the thing. The paranormal expert of Troubled Minds, the glue of the show. Not feeling well. Find a way to pop in here anyway as he's laying in bed listening to us. And yeah, there's a lot in play. And that's exactly why we talk about this stuff. And like I said, conceptual frameworks are interesting because notice how you can really, well, make a lot of hay out of a lot of things. I'd love to hear your thoughts if you want to be part of the conversation. We're going to wrap this up. We got the real Jason Barker coming up right meow. What's up, Jason? How you doing tonight? Welcome to the joint. Thanks for being patient, and thanks for biting your tongue on Elon. How you doing? I had to go, Jim. Shout out YY in the chat. I'm reading the chat. Welcome. How are you, sir? Don't hear you. Don't hear you.
Me?
There we go. Better. Something's coming through. Go ahead.
Good. I'm having the gremlins tonight too. Hey, shout out to James, man. He hit the same point I wanted. So I wanted to talk a little bit about my history, right? So I've drank an entire Kool-Aid thing of leaded gas when I was like 3 years old and survived. Yes.
Wait. Okay. You're going to hate yourself if I don't say this. You're coming through your webcam, I think.
Am I coming? Oh, jeez.
Yep.
Okay, drop me out, brother. I'll fix it.
Okay, we'll get you back in just a second. We'll get a final thought from Jay Winch here, and we'll get you back in just a second. That's the real Jason Barker. Yeah, like I said, we could talk to him like that. I could pump up his volume, but he's going to hate himself. He's got a really nice sound setup. That's how I know. Jay Winch, welcome back to the joint. Final thought here, and then we'll go to the real Jason Barker. And what's up, brother? Are you still there? Test 1 2.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'll be quick and short. So, nuclear energy. It's a great thing. It can provide power for the entire world. But unfortunately, it has waste. And that waste lasts for, I don't know, hundreds, if not thousands of years. But then there's this free energy thing. And if free energy was actually allowed, you also have the same side of the coin of nuclear energy. Nuclear energy came from the bomb, correct? So if anybody and everybody had the ability to tie into the OG Tesla or pre-flood pyramids and free energy, somebody had a grudge can cause a lot of issues. There's a reason that kind of energy is suppressed. Like, the people in this channel, like, you give us free energy? Are you kidding me? The only thing we would do is feed everybody around us. But you take one bad person, unfortunately, there's bad people in this world. It's going to happen. As long as somebody has greed or pride, like, oh, look at this guy. He's got, free energy, and he's got chickens, and he's got food. As long as there's pride, as long as there's greed, there'll always be issues. And I kind of think that's the reason of suppression of their original technology of free energy. What's your do you agree or disagree?
I'll say that it's complicated, and you're not going to back me into a corner like that. So yes, energy.
Well, I mean, just
no. I'll say it like this. I'm with you. I'm with you, brother.
Okay.
I appreciate it. See,
keep you too friendly.
You can diplomatically say, yeah, maybe. All those things. Appreciate you, brother. Thanks for staying up late with us. Thanks for being part of this. Thanks for your service, all the rest. And thanks for sharing your wisdom. We appreciate it very much.
I'll check in more often. Yeah, I've been going through stuff and getting through it. So
all good. All good.
I love your show.
Appreciate you. And we love you too. You were the best. That's Jay Winch in Missouri. Go again. Join the Discord, troubleminds.org. Click the Discord link. Come meet these amazing people. The real Jason Barker. Welcome back. Without the webcam, I think. How you doing? Welcome to the joint. And,
hey,
what's on your mind? Hey, you sound great.
Sound better now?
You sound great.
Okay.
See, I knew it. I knew I had talked to you. Why I made the joke over there? Jason calling in from the bottom of the tin can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Damn it. Why?
Anyway, I wanted to dovetail off James. James touched on something that I've thought about for a long, long time. As I was saying before I was tin canned, I drank gas, an entire Kool-Aid glass full of it as a kid. We were 30 minutes. At the minimum, 30 minutes from the nearest hospital. I drowned 3 times. I hit a parked truck at 90 miles an hour in a Toyota MR2. Like, there's so many times I should be dead. So when you're talking about the reset button, right? I think the reset button is a personal reset button where we can't deal with the death that we just experienced. So we shift into that alternate reality where we didn't die. And we keep doing that until we come to terms with what we have to do to move on to the next life. You know, that's kind of my thing. I really wanted to throw that out there. It's kind of a wild concept, and it's maybe you could do a whole show on it. But I really think that I've died many times, but for some reason my consciousness goes to the other multiverse reality, and I go on to where something happens slightly different, and I keep moving on. What do you think about that?
It's weird, man. Matt Matsell mentions in the chat that like the 9 lives of a cat type of situation. That's bizarre. It's so bizarre. And I've seen these things. Like, we've all seen these things of like this ridiculous luck happen where somebody should have been offed. There's a recent video. Ricky played it on his stream a couple days back, but I don't know if you guys seen this, but there's like a woman walking on the, so let's set it up properly. There's a car parked on the side of the street, right on the curb. And she's walking sort of like she's going to the driver side door. So she's in the street. Have you seen this?
Oh, I saw that.
Have you seen
that?
This?
Was wild.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so this car comes screaming up at like 50 miles an hour on this like residential street. And she walks just past the bumper of the car that's parked there. And this car just was literally like had her like in its sights. It was going to hit her and kill her. Like, that's how fast this car was moving. It would have threw her in the air 30 feet. It would have been horrific. And for whatever reason, I mean, again, like I said, is this luck? Is this that 9 live stuff? Is it the stuff we're talking about? I don't know. Is it simulation theory? Is it? I don't know. But to bury the bit here, basically, the car that was racing up hit the back bumper on just the edge of the car where she was standing, like 3 feet from her. And this other car that should have hit her flipped over and went out into the street as the other car sort of shifted as she stands there completely unharmed, like not a scratch on her. It's one. I'll find it and pull it up. But I saw that and I was like, this looks staged. It was so ridiculous that it looks staged, but this is the type of real stuff that happens. But by the way, let's not diminish. For every one of those, there's like a million bad ones too. So just to clarify. But yeah, if you saw it, to go ahead. What's your take?
Well, my thing is, what if I was that woman on the street and I got plowed over by a dump truck, right? And that's what you see. So there's a saying my buddy used to say. He used to say, "It's your world. I'm just living in it." That's what he used to say. And okay, so it's my perception of the world as we see it. So my world could be a different world. What if I just got plowed over by that car, but my mind couldn't deal with that? I wasn't ready to pass on. So I moved over to the other part of the multiverse or whatever, the other, where that didn't happen, where that weird thing happened, where the car just flipped over and just completely missed me. And so now I'm still, moving around and about. To everybody I knew in the other universe, I'm dead. But in my universe, I'm still alive and everything's kind of the same. And really, when you think about it, if you really think about it, and another show idea, that's maybe where the Mandela effect comes from. where we lived in another universe at one point and we got offed, we got killed, drowned, whatever, drank gasoline like I did as a kid. We died, but then our minds couldn't handle it. So we moved on to the next thing. And now we're in a different universe where things operate a little bit differently. Like the Monopoly guy never had a monocle. I'm just saying, not in this universe.
go check that out. That's a wild rabbit hole too, because it messes with us. Like we remember these things, and it is so resonant because I've talked about this in the past as well. When we're kids, we have that super hyper learning phase, and so there's details that are critical for us to learn very young that need to lock in. They need to be a very big part of us, and some of it's frivolous, of course, which includes a brand name or the fruit of the loom or the other stuff. Wild rabbit holes. I don't know, bro. That's the point of this, and it kind of brings to mind guardian angels and all kinds of other stuff. But I do wonder, right? Hey, if 10 of you have been off in other universes, I want to say this: that I'm glad you're here in this strange universe with us. My world, you're just living in.
Yeah, it's your world, brother. I'm living in it. But that's it. I just wanted to share that, man. I just thought, what if the reset button isn't a societal reset button, but an individual one? That was kind of the concept right there. And all scale in between really becomes the show. If you want to do that show, you let me know. We'll do that in the future. Okay. Oh, hell yeah, man. All right. Let me get out of here, brother. I know you got to close out. You're the best. Appreciate you very much. The real Jason Barker. Right. Thank you for the call. Thanks for dipping in here and fixing the audio and all the rest of that. Knights of the Storm is the name of his show. Again, go to troubledminds.org/friends, as you would expect. Like I said, it's an in list, not an out list. If you should be on this list, just contact me. I'm not going to do it without your permission to share your social media or whatever. So just send me an email and say, hey, Mike, I'm trying to help grow the show in any way whatsoever. Any way, 1 iota. You help 1 iota. You should be on this list if you got a thing you want to share. troubledminds.org/friends. Scroll down a little bit, and of course it says follow Jason right there. Alphabetical order. Go click that. Go follow his Rumble. Go check out the amazing conversations that Jason's having over there with friends. I've been on his show. He's been on this show. This is the point. Networking, growing together, the whole bit. It's good. It's good. It's all very good. I appreciate the call. Fire stuff. Yeah, I don't know. The cat stuff, the 9 lives. We did a cat state show. Collapsing the wave function. It's weird. It's weird, right? I have no idea. No answers, more questions the more I think about this. Kramos, final thought, and then let's get the hell out of here. What's up, brother? Welcome back.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. You sound great.
Okay. You are wrapping this up. I'm going to ask you. What if put yourself in the scenario where in real life AI takes over everything? So in that scenario, what is the big issue? What is the big problem about it? What about if you can get some positive things? But it's like when I hear or talk about this issue, it's like this sense of being afraid. What about if AI takes over everything and they attack us? So what about it? Let me ask you. Put yourself in the real scenario, and what would you do? What everyone in the chat would do if everything is fucked up. Sorry. Again? I'm sorry. Everything is messed up. And put yourself in that hypothetical scenario that AI takes over everything. What is the big problem?
There's no problem. We just die. So I will cite the source material, go back and watch The Terminator and the several sequels and maybe even the TV show, and then get back to me because we die. That's what it is. And again, like I said, I'm not a fearmonger. I'm not the guy that is trying to grind these narratives and say, hey, this is what's coming. I'm saying there are possibilities, and abundance is one of them. So maybe I'm not as balanced as I should be, and you may be right with that, because of course fear sells. Doom is nigh. Doom is coming for you. maybe soon, maybe not, but you get it. And I know you're picking up on that, but I don't know if I need to balance a little more abundance in my doom, let me know. but I can see both sides of it. And yeah. That's a good question.
I think fear could be maybe positive things like for example, I live in one of the most seismic earthquakes countries in the world, so the only thing that I have to be prepared if a big earthquake is coming, and I have my security shoes. But if you think about it, maybe AI could tell me, hey, you don't have gloves, you don't have this, you don't have this, you don't have this, you're forgetting to buy this. Did you bought that important security tool if an earthquake happens? I will be appreciative by that.
Of course. Well, not only that, a superhuman intelligence would be able to say, "Oh, by the way, Kramos, on Tuesday at 2 p.m. there's going to be a big earthquake, so you just get out of town, eh?" You wouldn't even have to worry about this stuff. I mean,
why not? Why not get out of here?
Thank you. My goodness gracious.
Get out of here.
Yeah, you're right.
Sorry, get out of here.
Yeah, you're right.
Because if you think about it, Okay. I'm reading about this website, about this NanoPass lab product in your skin, in your eye, and I'm thinking about, hey, what if? Okay, like to be living in the fear, scared. It's not for me, And I'm 42 years old, and I don't want to be like that.
I'm with you. Look, I am on the same page with you. Like, and I feel you.
What if?
Once you get to a certain age, you're like, okay,
yeah, hey,
all right, let's see what happens next.
I've been having a good time. If I think about it, in my 42 material years here. So, what if? Hey, it's not the worst thing that can happen. Okay, we die. Your material body stop existing. So okay, but this kind of spaces, like digital spaces, it's communication. In the end, it's your voice. So you can find authenticity in it. I think that's why I appreciate it.
And I appreciate having you. You're the best. Always a pleasure. That's Kramos. And yeah, well said. And that's the point, right? Like you can, like I said, in terms of technology, you can say terrible things. You can, the source material Terminator, right? And there's more than that, right? Who listed in the chat? What somebody else said? The Matrix or all the different ones, right? Yeah. But also, like I said, recognize that without strife and trauma and all the rest, a good story doesn't begin with, and then there was abundance and everybody lived happily ever after, right? You get it? So even if let's say we were all like techno optimists and we're like, no, we're going to solve all the diseases. Any terrible thing that could happen will be sort of blocked by the white hats, and the white hats will be super intelligent entities. Yeah, basically guardian angels in some capacity, right? Theoretically. However, wouldn't you want some drama leading up to that point? It's kind of my, I don't know. And so I think it's built into us. Doom is built into us. And again, shout out Herschel, because he always says it stuck with me, and he's right, that we're temporary. And it's built into what we know. In that first moment, we learn that eventually we will cease to exist. It's traumatizing. And we spend our entire life reconciling that fact that we are indeed temporary. The human condition. And again, this is why I show up imperfect. This is why I show up with ideas not thought about for 6 months, chiseled into a book, and perfectly thought out. I'm human. And I'm imperfect. You bet your ass I am. But that's the point, isn't it? That's the point. Fantastic calls from everybody tonight. Glad to have some old friends back and, of course, new friends and everybody else. I appreciate you very much. Thanks for all the amazing chat. Thanks for lightheartedly ribbing each other and being part of this. Shout out Race in the chat who says I never say hi to him when I do almost every damn time. What in the world? What's up, sweets? I see you there. Squigs. If I missed you guys, I'm sorry about that. Just doing my best to keep up and do all the things. Eric, I see you there. Sylvain, Gaston, Enoch, Matsell, Stephen England. Yeah, what's up? What's up? Who did I miss? James, great call. Kramos, Michael W., Jeff, APOC. You guys are the best. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for being part of this. Hey, you're human. You're imperfect. And guess what? Also, by the way, it's okay. It's okay. Let's see what the future brings. Abundance. I'm praying and hoping for abundance. And I hope you do as well. If you want to help Troubled Minds, help our friends, troubledminds.org/friends. Click the thing down there, the friends right on top. You can see it. Go straight to the website, troubledminds.org. The link is on the top. Click friends or just go to the /friends directly. All these amazing people, right? And I know some of them have deleted YouTube channels or whatnot, but if they want to reinstate them, they're definitely welcome. They're going to be on there. And if you should be on that list, you should be on that list. Like I said, it's an in club. It's not an out club. I am not here to curate anything other than steer us away from political propaganda, because you can go find that on Sean Hannity or who's on CNN anymore. I don't even know. They fire them faster than they can. What's the chick with the Joker smile? What's her name? Anyway, whatever. I just can't stand propaganda. Like, did you guys see that the Trump thing today? By the way, speaking of propaganda, they treated him as like a conquering hero when he walks into the joint. I'm like, what is he conquering, by the way? Okay, anyway, I digress. All right, as we finish, if you want to help Troubled Minds, there's a few ways as well. Spread the word. Let people know a conversation's happening, but we're not going to devolve into binary propaganda. I will do my best to make it not a thing. And we talk about wild ideas by dark of night, and I'm telling you, the human condition plays, and it's important to consider it, and that's that. troubledminds.org/support. Do the things. If you want to send some money, I appreciate it very much. Don't click on a rock fan because they rug pulled us. And everybody else, by the way, that's a developing story. We'll get back to that. As we finish, it goes exactly like this. Be sure, be strong, be true. Thank you for listening. From our troubled minds to yours,